Und dann klick. Check. Perfect. Welcome.
Good morning, everybody. We are streaming live from Windstrand Hotel on the island of Sylt.
Oh.
No? Yes? Oh.
And then we send the link to PWA. Wir sollten ja hier irgendwo sein. Da. New day, new stream.
So, here we are on the video.
Eigentlich alles. Wo? Da.
Good morning, everybody. We are streaming from now on the whole day for you. The live stream.
Thomas already sent a donation, what?
Thomas is okay. Thomas is awake. He sent us some coffee. Awesome guy. But yeah, it's so nice that you support our stream. Yeah, today we have a freestyle and maybe we get a wave contest. But then first time we get the freestyle. There are still some sailors on the water. We are streaming here for Surfmagazin Sylt. We are a small surf magazine located here on the island of Sylt. Beautiful island near the Danish border. And right now I take a look outside. Oh, let me see. We have a good wind condition right now. I think, that's between 25 and 30 knots on the sea. There is a yellow flag on top, so that means we're starting soon. Oh, the green flag is up. I think they do a test heat, something like this.
Empty heat, right?
It's an empty heat. Empty heat. You don't miss anything. Once the action start on the water, we are here. And yeah, Thomas, feel free to come in if you like to join the stream. Brauche ein neues Passwort, ne? Today is the 9th day. It's unbelievable how fast the time is running. Welcome on board to the live stream of Surfmagazin Sylt. We are starting soon with the freestyle action. Just let me take a look at the PWA page. Oh, they wrote wind looking quite light as the sailors try and make their way out through the shore break. Quite light. It's a question of definition. Right now.
Open WhatsApp.
Hello.
Right now we have a strong wind, I think. Oh, it's okay for surfing. Hold on.
Alex, can you hear me? Hello, hello.
We have west-northwest around 20 knots. At the weather station, that means we will have around 15 to 20 knots on the water. High wind is at the peak 27 knots, and yeah, it stays onshore.
Freestyle.
I think Thomas will be coming soon into the chat.
I'm here.
We have the
Guys.
warm up heat.
Hello.
So Thomas, we hear
Can you hear me?
you.
Wait a second.
Wait a second. We hear you, but we need to do some technical stuff here to fix it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we have also
now
the
you
echo.
have him on the headphone.
Okay, cool. Good morning, guys.
So here we go, Thomas.
Here we go. We got about... we got a lot of time before the first heat, because we got like
Yeah. There's
3 minutes, 5 minutes left.
yeah.
Or no, yeah, 5 minutes in the transition. So it's going to be a 2-man heat today. We're in the freestyle. We're in the later stage of the double elimination, so we will have only man-on-man heat. That's going to be so much easier for Nick to follow the guys.
I will tell it to Nick. Nick, now we have a 2-man heat. That means you have only 2 sails to film. This is awesome because it's much easier. Yesterday evening we had the problem that 8 sails in the area, so we have to decide which one we take. Marine is coming outside and tell us, hey, we have the 2 red sails, 1 black sail and the white sail. The other guys are all just training. I hope that the PWA cut this today. It's not a good idea.
One of the guys is just slugging in front of the screen. That's Anthony on the red Castra. And the other one is Nico from France, and he's going to be on a Nil Pride, which is like half pink, half violet, or I'm not good with colors. I guess that's more or less how it looks. But it should be much easier to follow the riders and much easier to keep track of the scores. So let's hope the PWA puts up the scores online soon. It's not there yet, but usually they're up.
Yeah, then we put it inside the stream once we see it.
We'll have to refresh the PWA page once the heat is on, and
the PWA. There must be elimination ladder.
Then freestyle double.
Yeah.
First double.
Yeah.
This.
And then we have to wait for the official scorecard. It appears here.
Yeah. And then I come back and put it in.
Yeah. Oh, I can do it too.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
We're going with Heat 30A today. First one of the day.
Heat
Battle of the French.
The Battle of the French. It's not actual, it's still the elimination ladder. You say 31?
30A, 30.
Ah, okay, yeah. Gassois. How do you spell it?
Don't ask me. Akajan or something like that.
That
Probably the
sounds
French
that sounds good.
The French are cursing on us probably for
Yeah.
ruining the pronunciation, but sorry guys, it's difficult. The black sail is not going to be in this heat. That's Dieter sailing out, just he wants to be ready. But the
Okay.
two guys further up, it's Nico and Anthony just cruising out to the left. So we're more or less on.
Okay, I tell Nick,
Looking
not
at
the
the good
not the
spot.
guy with the black sail. The guy with the black sail, get him out of the water.
Okay, I get him.
Get him.
Should I use the...
Swim over there and steal his
I
sail.
will just take an, I don't know, an sniper.
Sniper, okay, snipe him away.
Do it like Paul van Bellen video style.
Okay. Or I
Shoot
ask
him.
Stefan Fröhlich on the jet ski. Maybe he take him out. Stefan is located in. He went to Tasmania, and he come back for the PWA to ride the jet ski. I think this is the best jet ski rider we have actually in Germany. He take care of the
Is
riders.
that the guy who also did the Red Bull Storm Chase and also does jet ski at Nazare?
Yes, I think so. He's
He's got a really long beard, and
yeah. This is
I've met him in
this is Stefan.
Klitmüller a few years ago. He's a super interesting guy.
Yeah.
He was doing
Yeah.
the head of security in Klitmüller PWA 6 years ago as well.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
I remember him. Okay, so the green flag is down, so it's 1 minute left until the ghost heat ends, and then we have 3 minutes transition time, and we're off. I'm actually quite surprised that they started right on. I was looking at the webcam in the morning and the wind measurements, and it looked like it's pretty light. But
No,
with
we
this
have.
camera angle, it looks okay.
Yeah, it looks okay.
And
If you go
also, they've
outside,
increased the.
if you look
made the
outside,
heat-
you see
yeah.
the white foam on the water. That means we have more than 5 before.
Yeah, I think with flat water, they would be going full power, but with this chop and bit of current and swell
Yeah.
moving sideways, it's much more difficult.
Yes.
But that's why also the heats are a bit longer today, so I think the guy can focus on getting the right casts and just doing
The red
moves.
Sorry, the red sail, yeah, and the other one. Where is it? This one, yes,
Yeah,
and this one,
Exactly.
Thomas. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Not the black one.
no, but he pointed at Nico in the middle, yeah.
Okay.
So this is going to be a bit of a tactical battle as well, because with 10 minutes, they will have no problem if the guests are there to fill in the scorecard, because it's still only 3 moves out of 8. But
Yeah.
8 attempts is quite a lot anyway. So normally there used to be 3 out of 6 and 4 out of 7, like on Fuerteventura, where you have a constant wind. So 3 out of 8 is like a lot, like allowing them to crash 5 times. It's actually very generous from the head judge, but it's great because we want to have, like, we don't want to see crashes being counted in as the one of the 3 moves. So we want to see do their best. So we got to give them chance to take the risks as well. Otherwise, they will only do like safe moves, and it's going to be a bit boring to watch.
Yeah. So what have you? Best 3 moves per minute. Count 10-minute heat duration. 10 minutes. 3 minutes transition. So they changed all of this. Last time we have 2-minute transition.
Yeah, an 8-minute heat. So definitely they are accounting for the lighter winds today.
Yeah. So
But
what
it
we
doesn't
see
look
in
like
our
wave potential so far, right?
not
They're
yet,
gonna
no.
go with the freestyle all the way, and
But if we see, if we take a look on the left and on the right on the sandbanks, you see there are good waves. The view is a little bit.
okay.
Hold on, ask Nick. Nick, kannst du mal auf die linke Sandbank schwenken? We show you now the left over there, somewhere, there are waves still, not really
Yeah, but
high,
that's
but
outside of the competition area.
yeah,
The judges
they
are not
they
able
have
to see down there.
they have to put the competition area over there. But maybe later,
Maybe.
later we get some waves over here. Will be so fun if
What's the tide now? What's the
tell you. Just hold on. Oh, it starts.
Okay, we're on. Nico, full power. What is he gonna do to start the heat? Scoring is not up yet, so we have to score ourselves. Shaka. Not too high, but a clean landing, so it's gonna be a good opening move. And there's Anthony. Is he gonna go move for move, Shaka for Shaka, or he's got something else in the bag? Now Nico is gonna see what he's doing. He's right in front of him, so that's gonna be a
Did they already
event.
take a look on the other guy and see what he is doing,
Okay,
or are they doing their own stuff? Are
it
they?
depends on the rider. I think sometimes they are going like trick for trick and thinking I can do this trick better, and then they are pretty sure they are ahead. And sometimes, not every guy can go switch both ways, so they have different repertoire.
And do they
Uh,
know? Do they know where they are better, or do they see the result at
if
the
they
end?
see the other move, I think they know if they
Okay.
did it better or not. So we have the scores up if you want to plug it in. And there was a Shaka opening 9.3, funnel crash from Nico, and a 9.9 air funnel from Anthony, and he's slightly ahead. And there's a decent punch, quick rotation, upright landing. Maybe he wanted a 360 after that, but it's better to do a solid punch rather than finish with a slow 360, in my opinion. Style points will be higher for that. Nico with
Take a
some
second.
speed.
Takes a second to put the score inside.
Yeah, no rush. Shavit Spock a bit wet, but he's been doing those in every heat so far, and they've been scoring good if he makes it clean. So I'm pretty sure gonna wanna do another one, make it a bit better. So they are with one move counting each. They are just half a point apart from each other. So it's gonna be a close one, and they know each other so well. They sail a lot together. The French guys are usually hanging out together a lot. So definitely an interesting battle to watch. Nico going switch. Oh, the chop just killed his speed. There's no way he's getting a move out of that. Whoops, we lost the visual.
Oh, shit.
There you go.
Oh, just joking. Just testing something.
So one thing about the scores, Alex, I'm not sure if
Yeah.
the next heat it's gonna show probably on the right side of the scoring, the part that now it's white on the PWA page,
Yeah, that's right.
because that's where the B panel lands. So you probably need to copy the whole thing like yesterday. Was that the buzzer?
That
Heat
was a buzzer,
cancelled or
yes.
what? Yeah,
Yes,
there we go.
cancelled. Oh
Not
man,
enough
no.
moves in the first. Not enough moves in the first 3 minutes to impress the judges to make it count. And yeah, like it was tough. They had basically one good move each and a few crashes, and really no burners, no kulos, no real power moves done. So it's been pretty light.
Yeah, that's it. Or is it too big?
Little bit,
It's too big, I think. Yeah, especially if we will have to add the left part of it, then it's gonna be yeah.
So this.
But then maybe if you make the it's okay now. Now it's great, I think.
If you do it higher, it's not. So you have to say which kind of moves.
Keep it at.
So we have a. Was awesome yesterday. We have Brian Palmer. He's sleep in our house, and it was a lot of action in the. I don't see anybody like him. He's always screaming action, and he's running around the house like crazy. He's a funny guy, and he's a good guy.
Absolutely, he's a legend. Like when I was young, I was watching his videos, and I sent a clip to Nick from Plug and Play.
Yeah, and he smiled. He's so laughing about this.
I mean, but I knew that sentence inside out as a kid. Like, it was so inspiring for me to start freestyling. It was He made freestyle so cool around the world. So all of us kids that were living somewhere inland by the lakes, we had something to look for. You know, trying to be cool, trying to learn new moves, and he inspired a whole generation of freestylers, in my opinion.
Yeah, it looks like the freestyle inspired a lot of people, because we take a look on the stats, and we saw that slalom, a lot of old guys are looking, but freestyle, all the younger guys are actual watching our stream.
Wait, they started?
Sit here. Now I give you your friend Brian.
What?
This is Brian Palmer.
Hello, Brian. Action.
And this is
Action, man. What's the action? How are you doing, man?
I'm good. Hey.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I had to dig out the Plug and Play clip yesterday after we talked. It was so amazing.
Man, let me tell you, as I tell you, those memories are amazing in the sense that is what we're feeling at the moment. If you look back at that, you would think that it was just easy, you know. It was really a revolution happening then. Now it's just another day at the beach.
Yeah, definitely. So how is the freestyle scene in Barbados looking like?
We don't. A lot of fellas don't do freestyles. More only waves. So we do more waves. But that's why I think the freestyle needs competition, because when you're competing, especially on a professional level, you're pushed to make all these maneuvers. And what the fellas are doing now, freestyle, I can't even comprehend. And the degree of difficulty is beyond belief. What these young fellas are doing on the water today.
Definitely. You know, the official list of moves has more than I think more than 300 tricks in it, and it includes all the variations like 720 one-handed and stuff. But in the official PWA list of maneuvers, there's over 300 maneuvers you can do in a competition.
And that's why, for myself, to see what these fellas are doing, and especially what they're doing in choppy water, so the viewers must understand it's not like Bon Air where it's flat. It is choppy out there, to actually complete maneuvers in these kind of conditions must be extraordinarily hard for these fellas.
Yeah, but it's also changed because there's much less sliding moves in competition right now. Everything's done in the air, so like once you get out, the chop is gone. You pop and you do the whole rotation in the air. So, but still, to keep the speed, to go switch in conditions like Sylt, crazy. And you can see, like, even now in the heat, guys were struggling. So the wind is pretty light, I guess, and it's super difficult. But these are the best guys, so they're gonna make it happen.
Yeah,
they're gonna make it happen today for sure.
Yeah, they're a good group of kids. You know, I had the opportunity to meet some of them, and as you know, I've been out of the scene for a long time, so it's a whole new generation, really, as you wish to say, and it's really I'm really happy to see them on the water and on the land, you know. Yeah, because we got to push the sport, you know, and as I always said, it's important to do stuff on the land, but also you have to communicate that on the beach too, to the spectators and the people that are viewing them.
Yeah, but I noticed actually, because there are so many more moves now compared to back in the days, that the sort of the age level of the freestyle competitors is getting a bit higher, because like you need just more time to learn all the moves. Like back in the days when Golito won his first world title, he was like 15 or 16 years old. Now you're not able to like physically learn all the moves at that age because there's too many. But then you can see in the waves, there are actually more kids doing waves than they did in the past, I think. There's a whole generation of pozo kids that go straight into waves. And back in the days, the route was like for Brauzinho, Traversa, Golito stick to freestyle. But Ricardo, they all started with freestyle, Robbie Swift, and then they moved to waves. Now we have so many kids that are amazing wave sailors. This is also something new to the sport, in my opinion.
Well, if you remember back in the like 2000s when we were doing freestyle, the vision behind freestyle was to bring the sport to places that you couldn't do it before, wave sailing. So now now freestyle has gone to another level. Fully, I tell you, I don't understand it anymore, and for these fellas to do these moves, it's so difficult to even get in the door. And that's why a lot of freestylers, as they get a certain age, they move into waves, because waves is a lot. If you I wouldn't say easier, but it's not as complicated as freestyle, in my opinion. That's what I did. I did.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit easier on the body, not like easier in terms of technique and like hours you need to put into it, but as we get older, the body is not flexing as well anymore, I guess. So,
well, it's not even the body's not flexing. Once you get older, the reality is you don't learn the moves as easy. When you're young, you learn anything. But as you get older, it becomes more difficult to learn these maneuvers. So that's why when you go into the waves, it's more about your knowledge. It's wave knowledge, it's your experience. That's why you can compete pretty. When you go to Hookkeeper, these fellas are much older, but they have such wave knowledge and know the spot. But then when you go to Pozo, you got to be able to jump. So if you can't jump, you have no chance. So that's why Pozo really defines a wave sailor as your ability to jump too.
Exactly, and it would be great to have both on the tour every year.
Well, that's as I see it. I really love windsurfing, and I think both disciplines need credit, because you got to remember back in the day when we were when freestyle is now coming about, people didn't want to switch from wave sailing to a freestyler, and I commend the fellas that are hardcore freestylers, because it takes so much technique and knowledge to do all these maneuvers, because people don't want to go and learn a spot back in those days. It may sound silly, but a spot was huge. But the wave sailors, they did not want to do that. So that's why we said it was a revolution. Men like Josh Stone and Robbie Seeger, and when we were pushing it, a lot of the wave sailors did not want to go in that direction. But at the same time, freestyle in those days really had it really pushed the sport like heavily. It really took the sport to another level. But where all the sports are competing against, all the disciplines are competing against one another. So it's the sailors' responsibility kind of is to really energize their section of the sport.
Definitely. But talking about disciplines competing against each other, would you be in favor of bringing back some sort of an overall title? For example, a crossover between wave and freestyle, or slalom and wave, or all three disciplines, with maybe that you can count three best results from one discipline and two other results from the other discipline, or something like that. Do you think an overall title has a place, or it got too specialized at this time?
I don't think so. I don't think there's enough money in the sport to do that, because that's why I dropped race. I was like, I'm not paying for all these fins. You have to get special fins, and you had a budget for fins. I'm like, you know what? I go straight into waves. So I don't think the sport has the money to to sponsor all the riders with all the gear. So I don't think it,
Yeah.
yeah, financially
Yeah, I guess.
the riders need money. So my thing is I strongly in favor of professional athletes of getting paid. So I'm a professional athlete even to this day, and that's why for the young sailors, I am pushing for them to make money, for them to get piece of the pie. The sailors play the most important role of bringing a destination to where it's at. I remember when I first came here to Sylt, you know, when you used to go to Americas, you know, it's booming, and all the sailors go there, and places like that make money from the sailors. So my position is that I believe that the sailors play a huge role, and I'm for them. Getting paid for what they do out there, because they're sacrificing their youth to promote brands and companies that live on forever after their career is gone. So, and they benefit for what they've done to build destinations, to build hotels, to build restaurants that benefit from events like here that happening here.
Well said, and it's a great perspective in my opinion, and something that has been lost a little bit in the industry. I think it's that without the professional writers, the industry would look much worse than it does right now, I think.
Well, in my strongest opinion, we need, in those days when we were around, brands created heroes, and heroes took the sport bigger, and we cannot be scared of empowering and creating heroes, and that's what we did in those days. And that's why the personalities today, we need to uplift them, because they help uplift the sport. The bigger they are, the bigger the sport goes. So we cannot be intimidated that you may create heroes. So you need to create heroes, and that's why for all the sailors here, the way I look at it is I want to really big them up, and because they make this whole thing go down. And action and more action.
You're right on point with that, but also back in the days, what I remember, there was so much more sort of personalized equipment, in terms of like the JP had the Josh Stone freestyle model with his sail number and with some crazy logo. Actually, I don't know if you can see my webcam on your screen.
No, I can't see nothing here.
No, maybe the guys can show you later. I can show you something that's like that's I can still have in my head. You know, you remember those sort of cartoon graphics on JP
Hey, I
boards?
remember 100%. Let me tell you,
And there
Josh
was like
and
the
myself.
Josh Stone flying with the hair falling over, like.
Let me tell you, in those days, and that's what I do today, and that's why I tell all the writers, and I really almost like preach. You can't 100%. Like, for example, when I was in F2, they used to give these big budgets to buy like all these boards, and you know what I used to do? I said, Brian, I'm going to take out some of that budget money for boards, and I'm going to work on my image base. Focus fully on the image base, and that's what we did. Josh and myself, that's what we did. We focused on how can you define who you are, separate yourself from the rest of the pack, and market yourself, and then use the brand to complement you. Once you've figured out, okay, this is who I am, this is the direction I'm going, and I'm going to push it, and then get the brand to complement it. So what happened in those days, if either JP or F2, they will then see what Josh is doing. They'll say, Josh, we're backing you 100%. And that's what they did. They took Josh's idea and put it onto their boards, creating that image that Josh and the brand utilized to sell boards and to sell the dream, because that's what we were doing. We were selling a dream, and it was a dream. Fully dream. We were living the dream. And the more fun we were having, the more money we were making. And that's what I tell people. If you're not happy, you cannot project that to the world. But if you're happy and the sport's booming and the money's turning over, you're energized. So, but at the same, so that's what was happening in those days. And I think the energy now is good. We just got to take it to the next level and interact the spectators, with the media, and project that image for the sport.
Definitely, definitely. Do you know if there was like there was a media day first day in Sylt, but is there like a room for people on the beach to come and talk to the riders and to get some personal like
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't know.
get
I don't.
closer to the riders? Because I know on some events they are very approachable, but on some events it's probably like a restricted area. How does it look on Sylt?
Well, I've only been here yesterday and today, so I don't know 100%. But I think the riders are pretty accessible. You know, I go out and I see them out. So, yeah, they're accessible. But at the same time, I think we need to... Because remember when we used to go to Austria, I don't know if you remember, the first years of Austria, it was fully interactive. It was 100% interactive. That was our goal, is that we blend fully into the spectators and the fan base. That everything was really, we would go on stage and we introduce everybody. It was very interactive with the crowd, and the athletes were out front, fully out front, and they utilized the riders.
Yeah, I think that has changed a little bit now because I've been around a few PWA events. I've been volunteering in Klitmøller twice, and I've been during the El Medano event and stuff. And even that the riders are approachable, they sort of don't don't interact on their own, and people don't know they can come up and talk that much. And because they are sort of, I don't want to say more professional, but they are more focused on the competition rather than the social aspect of an event, social in terms of the spectators. I think
Let me tell you, can I tell you something? As I said, I come from as I said, Josh Stone is my best friend, and we toured together, and it was entertainment. Windsurfing was all about entertainment. It was a full package, on the water, off the water, and to energize the crowd, and that's what we did. And we had so much fun, and we competed out there, and we came in because that's part of it. And if you can't get that energy you have on the water to the fan base and to the spectators, they're not going to be interested. They want to feel it as if they're with you 100%. If you come into the land, they want to feel that energy, and that's how you radiate energy, because people want it. They want to feel it with you. So I think, and that's what we did during the freestyle. If you remember, if it was King of the Lake, Josh would do a Willie Skipper and come right into the crowd, and the crowd loved it. Huh?
Yeah, I remember. But I have a feeling that because there was just so much more money in the industry, and you could, even if you didn't win, you came like 10th or 14th or 16th, you could get a decent paycheck. It was easier to like relax and be more social and create more fun around the event, rather than now, like, you guys really need to focus on getting the best possible result because their livelihoods depends on it. Their sponsor contract depend on the results more than anything, I think. And also the prize money is, it's less than it used to be. So I think that created this more competition focus among the riders rather than this having fun.
Do not be mistaken. Do not be mistaken. Even myself, although I had so much fun, it was my attitude. If you may not know, but I tried my hardest. But it's your ability to understand that you had to do both. You had to go out in the water, try your hardest, and that was one of the main goals of freestyle. That a freestyle racer understood that what their goal was to go out there and do as much on the water, but also be able to come back to the beach and really radiate and entertain the crowd. And we understood that's how we made our money. So, for example, that's how it rolled, And if you didn't entertain the crowd, you're not gonna make money, even how hard the maneuver looks. People want to be entertained, and that's why if you are not able to communicate what you do on the water. You, like, for example, I remember we did an indoor event, I can't remember what it was, and the freestylers are doing their stuff, and somebody just went, and they're very complicated maneuvers. I don't even know what their name, but somebody went and did a regular forward, and the spectators went wild. And that's how it is. We're not able to determine what the fans or the spectators thought was radical, but that is the reality of the situation.
Exactly. And I think one person that in the current fleet understand it's the best, it's Bouts Muller, you know. He's doing
Yes,
again what you did back in the days.
100%. I met him.
He's following that path.
Yeah. So what I'm telling the riders there, because I agree with you 100% with him. His energy, like I did some interviews with him in Switzerland, and his energy is high. And on the water, he's able to take that same energy when we're talking, and then go on the water and live up to what he says and does. Because especially with social media now, you think that you could send that message by just how many followers you have, but that's not right. You know, the reality is, once you get out in the public, you have to be able to deliver the same way.
Exactly, and it's on the first look it looks so much easier with social media, but it's a tricky balance to keep entertaining, because people demand constant entertainment now with the era of social media, and they just click over if they are not fully entertained. So it's difficult to keep it at a high level every time. Looks like the AP flag has gone up, and we're gonna be up for a waiting game today.
Yeah. Action, and more action. Everybody's gone.
Competition live.
Yeah. So we're in another world, but I really want to, you know, I'm really happy that Mercedes-Benz is sponsoring the event, having the Windsurf World Cup here. It's so important, if the fellas have something, and I think the sailors, along with the organization at PWA, just have to continue working on trying to get it a formula that works for everybody. That's, I think, the most important thing, and the riders may have to change how they look at things too, so it's a combination, but the riders just need to be paid, that they can make a living from what they do.
Absolutely. And it's been a great week here in Sylt. We have results in all three disciplines, so maybe we can finish the double in freestyle today or tomorrow, or maybe we can get an extra slalom run or the waves, but even if not, we have a full result. There was plenty of action, and it's been a really good event already.
Let me say,
the sponsors are going to appreciate that, and
that's why I want to say congratulations, Brasilio. I want to congratulate him. I thought what he did was phenomenal. I think he's definitely one of the best wave sailors on this planet by far. You see him in Jaws really killing it. You see him in Maui killing it. He does it with such style and such grace. As a human being, as a person, he's an amazing person, has an amazing family. And I really want to congratulate him from the bottom of my heart. And I'm so happy for him. He's just and again, he's a good person. It's so nice to see that, and he really expresses himself. And yeah, and all the windsurfers, I think it's an amazing group of people that we have, that we are able to do this. And yeah, even coming here, and everybody's all the sailors are so amazing, everybody's so nice, So I really, from the bottom of my heart, I want them to live this dream, and the dream that when I was their age, I lived, and I was able to make money. So I really, I was speaking to a wave sailor yesterday, and he just told me, things are really, really tight and difficult, So I feel and I understand how sometimes difficult it can be.
Yeah, huge congratulations to Brosino, and let's hope he gets a proper reward from his sponsors, and it sort of projects him onto another level in terms of media recognition and yeah, contracts and everything. It's a
Well,
huge accomplishment. There's
well,
not many riders that had multiple titles across multiple disciplines in our sport. He is in the top of the elite, in my opinion, historically speaking.
well. I can't remember. I think it was last year when he was riding Jaws and he did that aerial from under the
Oh
lip.
man,
I think that's one of the most radical things I've ever seen. He did it top to bottom, under the lip, and I don't think I've seen anybody hit the lip like that at Jaws. And to be able
never,
to do that
never,
at,
never.
huh?
Yeah, no one ever hit and landed. Maybe
No,
somebody hit and ejected, but no one ever hit and landed it like him.
no. He never. He actually top to bottom, under the lip, hit the lip, and yeah, I was like on, but you gotta remember, so he is able to ride Jaws at that level, and then to come and win a world title, to go to Pozo, to come to Hookeeper, so at all levels, yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing. I was really yeah, and as a person, he's so laid back. You never think the person you see on the land, and as a person, he's so laid back and always approachable. You know, I see him all the time, and he's so respectful, and I'm not at that level, but he's just a nice person. So I really I'm happy for him.
It's amazing how the whole windsurfing family, the professional windsurfing family, how nice people they are and how laid back. And like, if anyone has ever a chance to volunteer at a PWA event, I can highly recommend that. It's a great experience to meet everybody and to get into the tiny details of professional competition and look behind the scenes. And I did that twice, and I'd be happy to do it again because it's an amazing week being able
Yeah,
to follow it on a competition.
that's why I said all the fellas like so I did the tour for 15 years solid, and we get along so well. You're competing for a lot of money, and everybody, there was no major conflicts. Everybody in the end got along, and that's a good story. 15 years, and I go to Hawaii, and the energy of all the riders. Everybody's competing for titles, and some people lose sponsors, somebody get, and it's an amazing group of fellas, and ladies, and yeah, everybody. I guess can't tell. And even now, since I'm not on tour, all the fellas like Bernd Flesner, we remember our history, and we were in Barbados competing against each other. One year I win, the other year, but we are friends, and we continue to be friends. And at the end of the day, to all the professionals out there and all the fans and spectators, the one thing that I learned is that we come out as friends and we enjoy this life that we have on the water. So I can say that it is an authentic group of people, and that comes from the athletes, from the management, from the media. It's an amazing group of people, and I'm so honored to be part of it, and that's why I'm here, because the energy is amazing. And I want to thank all the organization, the media that have helped my career and continue to. And yeah, all the riders, I want to say a big up to all the riders too, and the media. It's amazing.
Hey, we got Bas Muller in the watching, and he's saying action, action, and more action. Love you, Brian. Great talks, thanks. So we called him in, and he listened. Hey, Bas,
Bows.
thank you
Yeah.
for bringing foil windsurfing and freestyle into another level and developing everything with your crazy style and great personality. So great to have you. Maybe you want to join in, Boss.
Yeah.
Let me know. Write in the chat if you could join in live and share the stoke a little bit. We can invite you in online. That would be great.
Yeah.
Huh?
I tell you, I love his energy. He's a good man, and that's why for all the young riders, his fellows like to look up to him. That he brings that energy on the land, and he really, takes it to another level, and has fun with it. Do you understand? you have to have. It's like riding huge waves. When you ride huge waves, you got to relax because you don't want to freak out. And the same way, entertainment, you got to take what you do on the water really serious and compete. But then when you come to the land, yeah, we had so much fun when he brought me some toothpaste. I think it was Colgate that had action, and more action. And that's, that energy is, hey, we're humanity. We laugh and we smile.
And that's the most important thing. Like, everybody should go windsurfing and finish the day with a smile on his face.
But that's why I'm telling you. Yeah, speak to me.
I'm trying to get a hold of Paul's Instagram and writing him a link to join us. I'm not sure if he can hear us. Check your message from Wave Sweden, and hopefully you can plug in, and the guys will put you up on the webcam, and would be great. And then there was another question on YouTube that to explain the scoring card a little bit in freestyle. So the P is for port tack, and that's the score for all the moves done on port tack. The S is the same for starboard tack, and VAR is the variation or variety. So then that's like about, if you do so all the moves are grouped into 4 or 5 categories. I don't remember how many, but if you do the moves from the same category, you get penalized a little bit for being like quite not enough diversity in the moves. So normally you get 5 points, and then if the second one is from the same category, you get 2 points, and if the third one is the same category, you get 2 points, and then if it's the fourth one from the same category, it gets 0 variation points. So it can add up to quite a bit of a difference in the scoring, and it's a great diversification factor, I think. So Bals, I've sent you a link on Instagram, and Brian, can you call up Nick and check because he's the one who needs to plug him in once he's connected.
Okay, hold on a sec.
Yeah, let's try to get it working. Bals, can you write if you got the Instagram message? I'm not sure if you can receive messages from like people that you don't follow, but I hope so. Otherwise, I'll write you on Facebook as well.
Hello, Tomasz. Here's Nick.
Yeah. Hey. So, yeah, we can get Bals Muller in the house. I sent him the link, the same link that we used Magic to join.
Yeah, perfect.
And he
can
he
get
read it.
just
So I
join.
think he just joined now. Let's give it a try.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, there he is. Wait, I put him in. I put you in,
we
man.
can hear you, man.
Hello.
Action.
Action.
Wow, what an honor being part of this chat day. It's awesome listening to you
Look,
guys.
there he is.
Even
There
twice.
he is.
How's it going? Hey,
Now you have to
as I
put
can
Brian
see-
on.
Brian.
Brian's webcam as well. Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm working on it.
Wait. I've got waves as well in my background.
Sorry.
You have better waves than we have in Sylt now,
Want to come here?
man.
And then I get your webcam, Brian.
And the craziest thing, if you're looking out of my window, we actually got more wind than you guys right now here in Switzerland, but it's raining as hell. So endless winter is coming.
Where are you stationed now? What's your home spot?
So I'm in center Switzerland right now. It's my home lake where I grew up, Bielersee, and we had a great week of good conditions, and it's so good being back on the water. I've been now 1 month, more than 1 month off the water after a very stupid cut with my foil. But I'm so happy being back on the water again, and I was hoping so bad to be up in Sylt right now, but it was not happening. I mean, I'm still not ready 100%. So
Yeah.
It's
So you were planning to
it's an
go
honor
initially,
being
it's
part
just
of
at the
this chat.
injury.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
man, you're most welcome. It's an honor for us. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get Brian
Actually,
visual in a moment, and I let you two talk. I don't want to interrupt two legends in the house. I'm just gonna stay quiet and let you do the talking, guys.
I was hoping that the action would talk itself on the water, but that's the reality
Yeah.
in water sport. Water sport, it's not every day 100% on the water, but you were saying it right, Brian. We need to be active at the beach as well, because
Yeah.
we need to be role models for the next generation. We need
Yes.
to motivate people getting out there and having fun on the water. That's what's water sport, what windsurfing is all about. Being out in the nature and having a great time, and action.
Action. But that's why I remember when we came to Switzerland and I met you, the energy that you projected on the land, and that you said it correctly for the young fellas. You're an example of what needs to be done. You go on the water and I'm like, wow, you're exploding. And then you come to the land, you're like, Brian, you are who you are. And that's what everybody needs. A lot of the young riders, I personally think it would help their career so much to be able to come on the beach and bring that same energy.
Yeah. And when you guys were talking before, about all the different disciplines as well, to me, water sport, it's one big family, and I see a lot of rivalry between the disciplines and whatever. Hey, in the end, when we're out there, it's so good. And yesterday, it was a really windy day in Switzerland, and I don't know, I saw probably 50 windsurfers and 50 wingers and so many kiters, and it's so good seeing so many people involved in the sport. And I would say the sport gets back to the glory days back in the years, but it's in our hand to make it even for the worldwide, for everyone to spread this positive energy so that the people actually can share it with us.
Yes.
Because it's so hard for us as team riders. When you were talking before, to make a living from water sport, I think it was never as hard as right now.
No,
but the sport was never as fantastic as right now.
Can I say, boss? You said best. What you do now is unbelievable, and what I'm trying to say to riders, it's how you communicate it. I'm still a sponsor rider. Right? Mm-hmm. And how do I do it? I communicate it. I go there, action, but I just don't say that. I back up action by actually articulating and doing it. Like I was going on this trip 2 months ago and I had no sponsors. I said, we're going to do it. And by the end, everybody jumped on board. They said, Brian, you're going to make it happen and we want to be part of it. So what I'm telling riders is you have to have that same attitude. If you want to be world champion, you got to live it and be it. But if you cannot be world champion, which I realized that I could not be. I said I can't be worse, but you know what? I know what I can be. I can maybe come in the top 10, but I can have more fun than everybody else, and I could transmit that, right? And everybody, wait, we know Brian Talma. He's in the top maybe 10, but he's up there with the Robbie Nashes and the Josh Stones that got the title. Man. Right, action man. So that's why when I saw you, and you're like, the energy you brought when I first met you was like, wow. And then you went on the water and I was like, wow. So if I was if I was a potential sponsor, you would get paid double. That's how I look at it.
Thanks a lot.
No, I'm not joking. No, seriously.
No, but you know what I'm really expecting, and that's what our sports need. Because it's a very small niche sport, but what we need to show it to external sponsors so that they believe in our potential in this awesome feeling we can share. And I think that's where especially the event organizers need to work hard on to manage showing this potential to external sponsors. But you need to be an optimist, being a I mean, it can be so frustrating sitting at the beach in Sylt, but when you take it as it is and just take whatever you get, it's the best thing that you can do. Getting out there, and I'm looking at the wind readings and I'm seeing 27 knots. I know Sylt is cheating, but how you turn
No.
27 knots? I don't know.
No,
How's
but
the actual situation?
we figured that out. The wind measurement is on the top of the next hotel, and it's really high, so it's like adding 7 knots to the. It's adding about 7 knots to the real wind on the beach. So it's like, yeah. I don't know if you saw the heat, but Nico and Anthony, they were really struggling for power in the heat.
And
it hasn't changed since then.
As I know very well from riding in Sylt, it's so hard to get going in these conditions. It's
hard.
It separates the mans from the boys from the mans. It's crazy out there. And and I was following every day. I was following all the action. And honestly, I'm stoked seeing that Sylt was delivering such great conditions. And looking out for next week, I guess it keeps on blowing, you know. And that's always the same. The competition is over, and then it's full on, you know. But I hope they get some good action today. Would be really nice. I guess with all the spectators, the pictures I saw yesterday, you know, with all the people standing at the beach, it's classic Sylt, and it's heartwarming seeing that the windsurf sport still is such an eye catcher and will always be such an eye catcher. And then the brutal Sylt shore break. I'm missing it. I would love joining Sylt holidays. And it was and I need to honestly say it was a really hard decision not going up there. But I think for me the worst thing, I really need to learn patience. I have no patience. All I want is being out there and sending it all day. And being injured, I had to make this cut, and it passed very, very quick. Now with the young family growing, with the little daughter, we actually start learning walking together again. So she's now one and a few weeks old, and I need to hurry up, rushing after her, and being on the crutches, it was very hard to follow and catch up. But it was a good decision not going up to Sylt, because otherwise I would be on the water now, and I know I would go over my
limits.
My limits 100%. So it was a hard decision, but it was worth. And I hope to be back next year and entertain the crowd and share the passion, and action, having fun out there.
Action, yeah, man. You said it. You said it best, yeah. But you know, sometimes you gotta relax. But yeah, I really want to tell you, and I say it again to all the young riders. I really think you're an example, and even for sponsors, and that, as a professional athlete, sometimes you have to give up small money if you're looking for big money. And I agree with you. It's our responsibility to try to, our organizers, to try to get more. To send that message to potential sponsors, as you said it. Take it to another level. Mm-hmm. I believe it. Let me tell you, I believe in the dream, and I'm still living the dream, and I'm not young, but my dream is still going because I'm not giving up. And I tell people, the more fun I have, the more money I make. And the sadder I am, no sponsors come. So the happier I am, and I'm happy. I'm like, well, Brian, somebody just gave me this. So, a check came with it. I'm like, so you have to be patient. You said you have to be patient, but it will come if you're able to package yourself. And I tell you, it's about packaging yourself. But at the same time, we can't 100% believe and think. Well, I know it is where it is, but social media is almost everything now. But in my belief, you have to, at the same time, deliver what you put on social media. Because you do all that, and then you get there, and you're in this, if you're here at the event, but you can't deliver it. But you deliver it.
That's the reality. You need to be able to deliver as well. You know, you're not. And I'm always saying, you know, on social media, everyone's a really good sailor, but you only see, you know, the prime clips and the prime tricks. But in reality, in the Sylt shore break, that's where it's all happening. You know.
Yeah.
And that's where you cannot hide in the tent all day. And I know that's what most of the riders themselves, but they should be at the beach and they should promote the beach culture, and they should be standing. You know, all the events I know from myself. It's so tiring. But you need to give 200%, and then you're mostly 1 week ill afterwards. But that's what it's all about with such events. You know, you need to.
Yeah. So
we need to revolutionize the sport. We need to revolutionize the gear and keep developing and keep growing. You know, and that's what these competitions are the best showcase for. You know, you need to stand on that platform and use it in the right way.
Right. So that's why I tell fellas, I say I used to go there, right? When I used to compete, you know, the show break, got pounded. For 2 minutes, I'm like sad and disappointed. But after that, I click into another mode. Like a lot of people think, well, Brian Talma, you don't take it serious. But when I'm out there competing, I try my hardest. But the minute I lose 5 minutes, I switch from competition mode in the water to competition mode on land. And I just say, okay, Brian, what are we going to do next? How are we going to win this event? Okay, let's say we came 9th. And I say, okay, Brian, we needed to get 5th. So you know what I used to do? I changed my whole mindset. I say, okay, Brian, let's work on media. Let's get on that stage. Let's go over there and let's talk to that person. Let's go and have some fun on the beach. Exactly. And I enjoyed myself. And you know, I went home, just like you said, after that week, I would go to the parties, wake up at 7, but when that week was finished, I was dead.
Dead. Yeah, but that's giving everything, you know. That's sharing your passion, you know, and that's what people appreciate, you know. When you share your passion, when you share yourself or your mindset, and that's so important. And I think lots of riders, they miss out on it. They think they're rock stars, they're soccer players. But they need to be real surfers, and that's
sir. Like we used to go. I remember I used to travel with Josh Stone. We used to go there. We used to hit it hard. I remember one day after Sylt, I got so sick. I got Josh sick, Amy sick. We went home to Hawaii sick. It was so funny. But we were like, we don't care. We gave it our all. Like when I come here, I would go all night, wake up in the morning, all day, in water. But, you know, as you said, I felt the place 100%. You know, I spoke to people. I go into this bar. So you got to give your soul. But after you've given your soul, you're dead.
Exactly. But that's something, you know, about giving the soul. I remember I wrote this interview with Josh Stone, and he was saying he was answering every single message. And that's you know, these days it's very hard. Back in the days there used to be a few mails, but these days social media with WhatsApp, there's always those stupid messages, and it's so hard to find out the stupid messages and give a response by heart, because that's what we need. We need to share our soul. We need to answer to these questions. And he said when he was saying that he was trying to answer to everyone. And that's
your video and your sound is stuttering a little bit.
You know, if someone has you got to share. All right. My too much rain here in Switzerland.
Yeah, here you go now. But yeah, that's where we're at, and that's why I said at my age I'm still doing it, and I always repackage myself. I always go out in the public, interact, really understand what people want, and what people all want is exactly what they want. They want that stoke. They want to feel what's in your heart. And like I go a place and I paint all day. I give everything from my heart, and I'm authentic. I'm not giving it like, you know, I and they can feel it. People can feel it. So that's the humanity about it, that we wave sailors, freestylers, we're not soccer players. And that's what we have to understand. We're surfers, and it's a spiritual journey, and that journey is is from the heart. That's how we tick. And the better we could get that message from like yourself to the spectators, to the sponsors, we are going to roll. Let me tell you, I say something here today. Next year, you're going to see me all over the world. I know you're going to Dominican Republic. We're going to have fun over there.
Yes.
I'm going to see you part of the Master of the Oceans. We're going to do that event. And I look forward to seeing you. And that's part of the Beach Culture World Tour. And I want to do more stuff with you because it's about the stoke. It's about that energy.
Exactly. And it's about this family on the water, you know,
yes.
Sharing the same stoke on the water, off the water, at night, during the day. No, I'm stoked going to the Master of the Ocean. It's gonna be the first time for me. And,
yes.
You know, I'm always joking. I'm saying I'm a Swiss waterman, you know, but everyone's laughing at you when you say, yeah, I'm a waterman from Switzerland. But they're like, waterman, Switzerland? I mean, what can you ride in Switzerland? And honestly, you can ride waves in Switzerland. I mean, Hawaiians probably will laugh about it, but the Swiss, you know, he feels stoked. And yesterday I did my first paddle prone foil takeoffs on a Swiss lake. For me, it's a game changer. I never thought I could be a surfer in Switzerland, and now with the latest revolution of gear, I feel like I'm surfing at its best in Switzerland with winging, with wind foiling. You can ride the small Swiss lake, and you can ride those small wiggles, you know, wind wiggles, and you feel like a surfer by heart, you know. And it's not that you're actually riding real waves, but you ride wind swell on a lake, and you feel like a surfer, and that's what's everything about, you know. We always wanted to go to Hawaii, but not everyone can afford traveling that far. But when you can do it back home, it's a dream, you know. Right now I'm living the dream of riding whatever gear I want here in Switzerland, and it was never as much fun as right now. And also today, I think it's going to be a really good surf day. It's gray. It's probably around 10 degrees, but I will be stoked in my 6'5" winter hood, wetsuit, and it will be the endless winter, we're calling it.
But you know what? That is what I love about you, because that is what I came to Switzerland and I said that this is a Swiss beach culture, and that is what you represent. You're not trying to be Hawaiian. You're not trying to be something different. You are who you are, and that is what I want to tell to all the viewers out there. The reason that you are so good is because you're being you. You're not trying to be aloha. You're not trying to be the action man. You respect all that. You can, right? So that's what happens to a lot of people. They try to be what they're not. You are you. And then when I met you, you were like, Brian, I'm trying to be Brian Talma, I'm trying to be a Josh Stone, because I speak to the older guys. And I think what you have brought to the sport is you've defined Swiss beach culture. So I have my, right? You agree? So I have my Beach Culture World Tour, and I have the global organic tourism stuff I do. Mm-hmm. But that is what it is all about, is being able to focus on a rider from anywhere in the world, but where they're from, and really to reflect their culture, and then take the beach culture and blend that together. But it really it shows the authentic you. And that, like, I see pictures of you and like, I'm not going to that water, it's too cold for me. But you're like, yeah, and like, not me. I'm from Barbados. That's not my culture. And that is why I tell all the riders out there is they need to focus on who they are. Not try and if they could really focus on that and really reflect that, they will be so successful because they don't have to act. They're just being them. But yeah, I love you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
No, hey, what an honor being on that talk, and I really hope that you get some real action, because I know how hard it is right now. Better to sit at the beach and you know anytime soon they need to perform, and I hate this feeling. I love it and I hate it. And
yes.
I mean, everyone's going there. They want to win, they want to go out there and compete and have a great time. But they're missing out on the reality, on the real life, because you're like this when you compete. You minimize your vision on those 8 or 7 minutes, And I know people, they travel to Sylt for sailing 7 minutes only. They got washed in the short break, and then they left Sylt again, but they had nothing from Sylt. You know, they were only like down to those 7 minutes. But you're doing it right. You're there. You're not even going on the water, but you're having a great time. You're sharing the stoke, and you're part of the water sport family. I mean, that's what all the riders should be. You're a role model also for me. Because I will be right now, I will be probably in Sylt sitting at the beach and I'm like, I need to get on the water. Nah.
Can I tell you, I remember when I used to go to Sylt, we all knew that. We said, Brian, you spend 9 minutes, 18 minutes, depending on how far you go, but exactly that. And you travel so far and you may only have 7 minutes, 8 minutes, or 16. Yeah,
exactly.
I've been there too. I know.
No, for me, it's, I'm right now. I'm in a situation. I'm getting older. It's everyone's getting older, but it's only a mental thing. When you feel young, you can keep on riding forever. And my goal is to be able to land shifties when I'm 60. I want to stay fit when I'm older, and I want to be able to ride when I'm older. And that's why I did this decision and said, all right, I'm going to heal that calf 100%. So I will be back and I can keep on riding 40 more years. And that's why I'm stoked. I managed to fight against my eager of going, everyone always wants to ride, and so it's so hard to not being out there and being part of Sylt this year.
Yes.
But looking into the future, and I'm very stoked being part again for next season, and I hope it's happening again, and I hope we get such great conditions as you guys had beginning of the week.
Action.
And right now, I think we're gonna hit the water here in Switzerland. When you look out there, it's better that way, And this bit is very important because every morning it gives me that certain feeling of I'm living the dream,
You are living the dream, man. You're living the dream. So I was supposed to say
the dream as it is now, yeah. Guys, I just want to say we got about 170 people watching. So if you enjoyed the chat between two windsurfing legends, please go to the link coffee.com surf magazine and buy those guys a coffee. Having the stream going with no official PWA stream, we've been blessed with so much action on the water and so much action in the interviews. They deserve a coffee. That's my message for you. Thank you, guys, and I'm gonna stay quiet again.
Thanks to you guys for making this live stream happening. I remember the first day there was a lot of shit talk about the Hawaiian music and everything, but I was enjoying it. For me, that's exactly what I needed. I needed the beach camera. I wanted to be part of it, even though I don't really want to see what's going on. But a really big head off for you guys making this happen. And thanks a lot, Surf Magazine. And I've been reading today the Surf Magazine on the toilet. I'm not only reading it on the toilet, but I'm loving it. Thanks a lot, guys. I will hit the water together with my family, and have a great day today. Thanks a lot.
Action.
See you next year. So
see you in Dominican
Republic. Enjoy some holidays, Brian.
Yeah, action. Action. Respect. Action. Action.
Hey, talk soon. Cheers.
Have action. Day. Cool. Action. Cool. Action. Oh, that was good. Really good. You got a good view. For you. Huh? No, what's that?
For you.
Du kannst dich einblenden mit 4, mit 3.
Oh, Tomish, are you already there?
Yeah, I'm here. What a privilege to listen to those two windsurfing legends. Awesome. But I think
you should see him now. He's sprinting on the balcony because he's so much full of power, and he's running around and enjoy life. He's absolute insane. He's a crazy guy. And I come in, and I'm pretty sure he start to scream action, action, action again. You listen to him.
Let's hope we get some action. I'm gonna take a little break, guys, and maybe reconnect with you once we know there's heat on the water.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think you have some more interviews in the process for today, right?
Yes,
So
Anton
for people watching.
Anton Arbo is coming at 12 o'clock.
Perfect. So people can get some
maybe
or something and join.
Maybe we get Brian.
Maybe
we get Brian Talma to interview him.
Amazing.
Will be great. Yeah. Okay. Then Thomas.
Thank you, and let's hope we get to finish the freestyle elimination today.
Okay. Yeah. See you soon.
See ya.
Bye. So you see the belly of Brian Talma now. What we have now is, it looks like we have good wind. It's around 22 knots. But this is what the weather station has on the top, on the rooftop of the building. Sorry. The weather station on the rooftop is saying, hey, we have 22 knots, but there are no 22 knots. It's on the water we have maybe 10 knots less, and we have heavy, choppy water over there, and it makes it pretty difficult for freestylers to perform there with light wind conditions and high waves. Also, the slalom guys can't get out because of the strong shore break that we have here. We showed yesterday. It don't look big, but if you are at the beach, you will see, holy, it's very high. So, Brian, you want to tell something to the people?
Yeah, we can talk. Yeah. Action. So what really? Yeah. So action. What this tour is called is the Global Organic Tourism Action Plan, which I've really actually this is how I tagged the tour that I'm doing, part of the Beach Culture World Tour, where I'm taking this philosophy around the world, traveling the world, but promoting, doing business with the community, the environment, maintaining cultures, and promoting sports. And I think what we're doing here at the Mercedes-Benz Windsurf World Cup is exactly that. You know, we're promoting the sport that is windsurfing, and all the athletes are here doing it. Also, like for what I'm doing in Barbados, we have community projects where we help kids of the community get into the sport, and that's what we need for the sport. We need to get more kids into the sport, and we need programs, schools, teaching people to windsurf and do these action sports, because I do all the others, kite surf, paddle surf, foil, and all these sports. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing here now in this vision, and I'm happy. I'd have to plug my sponsors, Nash. Nash has fully supported that. At home, I'd be like teaching all day these kids from the community, from Silver Sands or Carter's Gap, in the island I'm from. And
what's the name of the island?
It's Barbados. So I'm from the island of Barbados.
It's close to Sylt, huh?
The temperature is a little different. So Barbados, the weather is warm. So when I go, I don't need a wetsuit. And
so you came yesterday from London?
London, yeah, came from London. So the beach we're going to do a beach cricket in London.
Beach cricket?
Yeah, that's a sport. That's from the Caribbean.
Yeah, the British.
Yeah, the British. So we will do beach cricket.
How was the food over there? What you get there?
Food good. Some
plum pudding?
No, what they had. Well, the English breakfast was really good. England was nice. And then I'm here. And then I came into Germany, you know, and then go back to Barbados and get back into that swing, because now in Barbados, on the eastern part of Ireland, we got good waves for surfing, so not windsurfing, so we do a lot of paddle surfing, and nice big waves. Before I left it, there was a huge swell that came through. So
yesterday you met Bernd Flessner.
Yeah,
that was so crazy to see you both. You from one man to the other, you get 20 years or 30 years younger.
Yeah,
You're still two boys sitting on the, you know.
talking. That's my son. We go back. So my last full year on the tour,
I competed against Bernd Flessner in Gran Canaria, and
when my first was in Barbados. So as I said, then we would be at some rock. 1 year I win, next year you win. Then we went on tour. He came to Germany. I came to Germany. I competed.
I think he's 16-time champ here in Germany.
39 single titles.
Right.
So I have
fond memory of a lot of Germans. I have Robbie Seeger, a really another good friend of mine. Robbie Seeger lives in Maui up in Haiku. So when I go to Hawaii, I see him. He's the first man that took me to Jaws. So I remember one day Robbie said, "Brian, you want to go to Jaws?" I said, "I don't mind. Let's go." Took me on his boat. Said, "Brian."
When I got there, I was like, so it's me, Robbie, and Robbie says, "Brian, I'm going out." So he breaks up, he's gone. So it's only one last place I gotta go. So I said, and I go there. It was,
but that was back in the day. That was in the 90s. So there's like one boat there. There's like 4 fellas out. At one point, it was just me and I think it was Alex Aguirre out there. It's not like what it is today.
Today, the 20, 30.
You could say it was soul surfing.
You know, it was amazing. So
Robbie Seeger, thank you, Robbie Seeger, for introducing me to Jaws, and cheers. Action, more action.
Action drinking. It's vodka, it's okay.
The journey has been amazing, and I'm glad to be here in Europe.
And now you have this mission that you will introduce. So try to explain it for people who are not in the sport.
So what it is through business and tourism, you lose your culture. It doesn't matter what sport you're doing. So, but as a traveler, when I travel, I want to get the feeling of the place. So if I go to wherever anywhere on this planet, I want to get that feeling. And how you maintain cultures is like a ecosystem. You don't want to have too much of one thing or too little of one thing. So you want to have a nice combination. So, for example, when I go to Hawaii, there's not as much Hawaiians that windsurf anymore. I think Josh Storm may be the last one. And where you have to go to a special school to learn Hawaiian, because that's slowly.
They lost their language.
Yeah, Hawaiian. Yeah, it is not. You don't speak Hawaiian if you're.
Not a funny story, but did you know that the British guys bring longhorn cows to the island to say to people, hey, you don't have to do this plant shit, you need longhorns now, we can do this. And then the longhorns start to eat the roots of the stuff, and then they send the longhorns out to the mountains, get away from our place, and now we have still longboards there. So Hawaiians change longhorns against longboards.
Yeah. Well, as I tell you, as I speak, you want a nice mixture, combination, but also the same with the vision of organic tourism is that you do business with the community, and that is how you maintain the money within the community. Also, it's working with international companies and people, but everybody benefits equally.
What is the idea? What is your action?
The action plan? No.
Action.
Harmony. That's the idea.
Yeah.
It's like anything. You got to always be. It's like cooking. You always got to put in peace, and to maintain harmony. So the mission is this. The vision behind it is that you maintain, which is very difficult, and that's where we're trying to get back. Everybody uses the word. The biggest catchphrase now is sustainability, and everybody's using it in the environment. And the one part I say, and my mission is more on the humanity part. because sustainability, if not everybody is making money and have healthy minds, we cannot worry about the environment. So my vision is, which is a reality, the area in Silver Sands, and you empower people. Empowering people means you do not control the situation. You know, you empower you could do what you want. You're free. And that's another part, is the freedom. So, and I did the book there, the action book. So this is the action book.
This one we will translate into German language.
So the action book is basically it articulates the organic tourism vision, but more so what it does is, in any situation, it shows a solution. So we articulated up in the Silver Sands area in Barbados, and it contributed to creating some type of harmony.
Yeah, you see it on our island. We speak a language called Söring. It's been lost over the centuries. A lot of people here from the island leave the island. What can we do to stop it?
So my idea is this. First of all, by empowering a business, is the business becomes more successful. For example, I say in Silver Sands, I speak of that place because the locals got part of the business. They started to have the apartments, so they're economically part of it. They have a stake in the tourist sector. So what I'm saying is, for example, here or anywhere in the world, if the locals are part of it, they are able to finance their culture. A dying culture is when you don't need it anymore, and it does not have a function. And also, if a culture changes, and if it changes, because it's the easiest way to market a place is its culture. You watch anything nowadays, and it can change. It can vary, and it can have influences in Barbados, we're an English colony back in the day, and it has an influence, but it can change. And for a tourist sector, we're in the tourism business, you're in the tourism sector, so that's how you promote here. When a country looks at a particular, or a destination looks at promoting themselves, they're trying to figure out what separates us from the rest of the islands or places. And that's why I'm saying, I'm here to inspire people. Hey, I have an island, I should do this. And it's the easiest way to do it is when you don't have, is natural. If I have to spend so much money on my culture because you're dying, don't let it die. And that's what I'm saying. If you let it die, it takes millions to bring it back. But everybody uses the word sustainability. I say organically, because it organically has to happen. Sustainability has become a marketing word. Boom! If you throw that, it's going to work. But I say organically because it's natural. So that's why I use that word organic. It's naturally happening.
You told me about the 5 guys you teach to surf.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then they are surfing still now.
Right. So what happened, I grew up in a place called Atlantic Shores, which is 2 of the best surf breaks on the South Coast. Freights, which is good for teaching, and South Point. And we were a group of fellas, and that was our break. There were 30 of us, and we were surfers from that area. Through the years, there were no more surfers from that area, and it's more transients. People come in either foreign or came into the area. So there's a community behind there called Carter's Gap. And I saw these fellas, they're trying to surf. I say, fellas, look here. Let me give you some boards and let me teach you to surf. And I gave them the boards and they learned. And in 2 years, I gave them new boards. I went to Hawaii, Drew Farrier from Hawaii gave me some boards, and I gave them boards. And now, they're not beginners, they're surfers. And they have this culture. They go surfing every day. And it is a spark that and it maintains. If everything's transient, it has substance. And now you have a group of fellas that are kind of regenerated to come back. So you don't want to lose that culture. And they will now reflect the beach culture of Barbados. If you have, I cannot reflect the Hawaiian beach culture because I'm not Hawaiian. No. You know what I mean? I can't, I'm not from Sylt. You could participate, but to keep the core of who you are, you have to have people that's where they're from and they have a legacy and history. So So that's what I did. Yeah. And there's a fella in Bashba called Boujou Man. That's, again, the local kids. But it's hard. It takes money to do that. Hello.
Yeah, as you've seen in the outside, there's a lot of waves. But actually, the wind is not enough to start the freestyle. We have choppy water over there. We have good waves, but there's not enough wind. And for the slalom guy, it's not possible to get out because of the high shore break. It don't look so high from this view, but it is high, believe me.
Yes.
So, and we don't want to get the guys hurt. This stream is made by Surfmagazin Sylt from the island. We are located here. We are a small surf magazine. We try to support the sport like Brian do it. The Strand Hotel here.
Nice.
When Strand Hotel give us the space for free. So yeah, it will be great if you support us. Let us a subscription, give us a like, or buy us some coffee on the bottom left side. So, what's your plan today?
Plan?
Yeah. Do you have any plans?
Plan, relax, do some more interviews, push the global organic tourism, push the vision. Also, I want to say a big shout out to all the competitors. And I really want to tell them that they have been really nice, the organization, everybody, yourself. It's been a really great experience coming back here and great memories. I used to come every year, and I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody for energizing me, because everybody energizes one another.
Yeah. Without you, there will be no Windsurf World Cup. Without Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz.
Oh man. It's a big, it's a big performance to bring the money into the sport, and it's so helpful. And I hope we have next year also Mercedes-Benz here at the Windsurf World Cup.
So that's why I say, even as you said, Mercedes-Benz also sponsored the Aloha Classic in 2019. So without them, Mercedes-Benz, it would not be a possibility to have it. And I hope that they continue to sponsor the event. I strongly believe in windsurfing, that it's a group of people and a culture that really showcases water sports, and amazing. And I don't know, this Classy has one, and Bennett have Mercedes, and they're such good people that are great ambassadors, not for sport but for humanity. Yeah. I travel both of them, Lesnar and Glass. He came to Barbados like 5 times. We traveled all over the world together, and I heard that that this will be his last heat that he's trying to push off here. So I hope we get wind for him.
I hope we get waves again, because Klaas Vogel's heat was cancelled in the last second or last 2 minutes, so he can't finish this heat after a career of 22 years, and we hope he come back on the water, so we'll see his last performance. But maybe, you never know. Next year we have the wing action there, and then Klaas will also compete. You don't like the foil stuff, huh?
I love it. I love everything. Let me tell you, I do everything. I'm a waterman. I go to the beach, and whatever the sea gives me, I receive it. And Klaas, he's a good winger. I saw him. I think he's changed his sports.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
After the competition 2 days ago or 3 days ago, the ocean was full of windsurfers. I think they get the material somewhere for free here to and take it and go on the water, and it was insane. They do freestyle action, they do racing, they do every kind of
winging is taken off. Klaas's son, I heard he got like 1 million hits. Or
his son,
he's 7. Yes, I saw him yesterday. He's like,
he looks like a professional. I can't believe he pumped and then
I saw him. I didn't see him in the water, but I saw him. He's a little kid.
Yeah.
Like a kid. He's winging.
Yeah.
So
1.5 million.
Yeah.
I love it. But
that's why I say the energy of water people, and the energy that the sea gets, and that's why even for Mercedes-Benz, I think it's such a compliment of the spirit of life and humanity that these sports really reflect, and after coming out of the water and the image base of these sports and these fellas like Bernd Lesnar and Klaas as ambassadors, as
I think we have an echo.
So yeah, really good stuff, man. Really good, enjoying the stuff.
No,
We're good.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we are not part of the PWA. We are not part of the organizer. We do it on our own. So if we have small technical issues, it's because of our technical setup. We would like to have 2 cameras or 3 cameras or a camera on a jet ski, but we don't get any money we do it for free. We do it for the sports. So hopefully you understand that we do sometimes mistake. The first 2 days I was too shy to speak English. What is, if you can't speak language really proper, and I now start to
You're
better.
You should hear my German.
That's like English. You should hear me. You should hear me play piano, man.
You're a drum man. I see you're a drum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have a chance. Maybe next time.
I'm a spoken. I speak. I'm a speaker.
Yeah, then you can rap.
I can rap.
Barbados rap.
Yeah.
What kind of music you have in Barbados?
Calypso.
Calypso.
Okay. So we just had the festival there in, I think, August. It was amazing. I went and participated, and it was just colors and drinking rum and relaxing and food, and we changed the venue. We went down a different street, and it was beautiful. So yeah, but we have different seasons. So the summer season is when the waves are big, and we have the festival there in August. So we have the crop. It's called the Crop Over Festival. And then on the eastern part of the island, the waves are phenomenal. We get good waves out there by Bashaba side. So just as I said, just before I came to here, I was riding the waves on our east coast, man. Amazing stuff. So and then after here, I'll go to Hawaii and check the action there. Look out for the Aloha Classic. So that's going to be action. Calypso, you can get some Calypso music for us. Let me see what you can get. He's getting some Calypso. Calypso, man.
Is it correct?
Calypso, yeah.
No, it's
a war. I don't know. That's German. I don't know.
It's interesting. What Calypso means.
Oh, what it means.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm surprised. We have to check it out.
Yeah, we're checking out the action here.
Checking out the action.
No action on the water.
Enough wind.
So if you want to know what's happening in the water, that's why we're doing a lot of talking, because there's just no action on the water. And the fellas, is a sea myth and gods of the Greek mythology. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a god.
Yeah.
Calypso.
Yeah. So Alex just Googled it.
I'm just a Google guy.
He's going to what the meaning is to Calypso.
I need stories,
You need stories. Did you hear about them sending food to save war? Right? I don't know. There's all these stories upon life upon earth, action, more action. Yeah. So Alice always gives me these stories. I'm like, I don't know if they're true or they're false. Yeah.
Some are true, some not. So
yeah.
You have to find it out, man.
You gotta find out. Yeah. Life upon earth. Yeah. So.
What's your next interview?
You
have a local newspaper.
What's that? We're here. Yeah. I know. Yesterday was really. I don't think I've done so many interviews for a long time. I was really busy, but I'm happy that the warmth that I felt here and the love from the spectators, from the sailors, from the organization is overwhelming, and I really want to thank everybody. All the interviews for yesterday to promote the vision, to promote Barbados, my homeland, So I really want to thank everybody, It's been a good journey so far on this Beach Culture World Tour so far. After this, we'll go to Hawaii. And the Beach Culture World Tour will collaborate with an International Windsurfing Association, because the Beach Culture Tour, it's a tour. We go and we collaborate. And what I do is I communicate this vision of the global organic tourism vision. And I'm not from Hawaii, but my vision is to work alongside the organizer, which I will do so, and to promote the Hawaiians. And the more they're empowered and the more they're part of the economic process, it's fulfilling, it's rewarding, because then I know that when I go to Hawaii, and I don't know if it's going to happen, but yeah, so they're part of the action. So yeah, when I go, that's a goal when I go there. So I'm looking forward to going to Hawaii and compete at the Aloha Classic. I do the Masters, and I've done the last time I did the pros in 2019. So that was I did the pros, and that was an honor to, after so many years, I came and competed on the pro section again. But this year I'll do the Masters, which
The event you plan, the tournament, is Masters of the Ocean.
right. So what is
And so I have to hold you the microphone on your face.
yeah.
Let me ask. And this Master of the Ocean is located everywhere in the world. We talked to Marcus, and he said, okay, we do it everywhere. So what's the plan about that, and what is it?
Okay. So what it is so with Master of the Ocean is, so we collaborate. So the Beach Culture World Tour collaborates with the Master of the Ocean. So my tour goes from here, goes to Hawaii, and then it will go to Master of the Ocean. But before Master of the Ocean, we have an event in Barbados called the Barbados Waterman Festival from the 5th to the 12th of December. But then I will go to Master of the Ocean. So with Marcus, he has his event, which is called Master of the Ocean in the Dominican Republic, where they do 5 disciplines: windsurf, kitesurf, paddle surf, and Condor sponsors a team from Germany, which Chris is part of, and then they will go to the Dominican Republic from the 22nd of February to the 28th of February. And at that event, they will have teams with the sports, and at the same time what we will do is we will have an individual winner of windsurf, kitesurf, paddle surf, surf, and foil, who is the best overall, Master of the Ocean. So that's the event there. So what I'm doing is I'm collaborating. So I go and collaborate with the different organizers, and the vision is to inspire people of the organization. So what he did was he created this thing called the Blue Dolphins, which is a kind of a community project which helps kids of the community to swim, to become lifeguards, to become kitesurf instructors. So the vision of that event is to be the most, if you wish to say, environmentally sustainable, conscious event in the world. That's the goal of the organization there. So I look forward to going. Boss is going to Dominican Republic, so we have teams coming from all over the world to that event. And the vision is to do, and that's why I said to do the sports, which is really important, promote the destination, important, but then also so when you go to Dominicans are part of the economic process. So yes, they may own a hotel, yes, they could be instructors, but it's important that they're a part of the economic process.
Okay, yeah, then we have to see. Maybe we get the event on the island of Sylt. Will be great, because if there's no wind, we can switch to stand-up paddleboarding or surfing, and this could be great now, because in the moment the freestyle contest, there's no more flag anymore. That means we have to wait until the next announcement of the PWA. And what is the PWA saying? Next freestyle announcement 11 o'clock, 11:15, first possible start 11:30. Next wave amounts, and that could be a good chance for class to come back on the water. Next wave announcement 1 p.m, first possible start 1:30. And if you look outside, you see good waves, but not enough wind, still not enough wind. I'm sorry for this, that we here from the island cannot send better news. We are streaming from Surfmagazin Sylt, located here on the island, and we're streaming from the Win Strand Hotel. They gave us the opportunity, they gave us a space for free, and this is so kindness from them, because they don't have any money from this. This is everything is for free we do. Also, Brian's mission here is a free mission. He don't get, he don't get rich for the thing he do. He don't get rich for the good vibes and all this. He do it because he love the humans, and yeah, he bring all the. We call it stoke. This is our word. We are the Ministry of Stoke here on the island. He's the action man, so maybe you are the Ministry of Action.
Yeah. That's right.
We have Anthony Albo coming in. Antoine Albo. It's for German. It's
Antoine Albo?
Yeah, he's in half an hour here. You want to talk to him? You want to do the interview?
I know Antoine.
You know him?
I know.
For sure.
Antoine, as I tell you, I think Antoine is the last of us on. Like he's a little before. Like I was before him, and then I remember Antoine coming on tour when he was just a little boy. I remember, I think it was I saw him from there, but I remember he stayed in Grand Canary, and he was staying in the same apartments, and he was just this boisterous boy, just having fun, and he has such a good heart, and I saw him here already at the event, and he really, and that's why it's so, the things when we see each other, there's this connection that we share, and I want to say this to all the writers, after the tour is finished, and you see somebody from the same generation, you share that connection of that memory, because I remember things that are so important to him, and he remembers things that we click, we go back to that energy. And so Antoine, good man, and that's a good thing. There's always a good story of everybody, and that's what the energy of windsurfing is about, and it's so special, that energy that everybody even back in the day we were competing large sums of money compared to now, and the energy was,
I think people can't understand if they don't windsurf. I remember a day on Fehmarn, it was 2010, I think, it's the first time I get in the backstrap and I start to what's up now, I'm going fucking fast, and I don't. And there are waves, and I can do this kind of riding the waves, and that was the sun is coming out, the water is blue, and I remember this moment after 12 years, and I get goosebumps.
Yes.
So this is about windsurfing.
So that's why the energy. That's why Antoine, I think he's the last of the generation. I think I spoke to him. I think it was yesterday. He said, "Brian, I'm turning 50, and he's still competitive at the highest level." So that's really amazing, and again, it's like Brazinho, these people are such core people, such good, fun-loving people, and that's why really that's the message that I sent to all the spectators that are out there today, that they're authentic, they're real, and I'm so glad to be part of this group of people. See, I come back after not seeing them maybe 4 or 5 years. And the last time I think I saw Antoine was 4 years ago when I was here. I think it was Sylt. But yeah, action, more action.
We need some more books.
Books,
Yeah, because if Antoine is coming and we sit close to him, we need to put some books under us so we get higher, so we get even. Do you see him?
Yes, you got that.
He looks like a chieftain from the ancient. Such a big guy. But very nice. But
but that's what I'm saying is.
It's like a monument.
Yes, I saw him yesterday when he was going to do the foiling. And but the good thing, the reason I say this is there's no arrogance. It's not like, do you know who I'm, Antoine Albo, I don't talk to you and then move out of the way. Nobody, none. That's what that, no.
Right. None of the surfers here are saying this. They're all happy. And they see, okay, you maybe don't understand everything in freestyle, but you are a nice guy, so we'll give you an interview. And everything is okay.
Yes, that is what I'm trying to say. And so That's what me and Josh, because I traveled on the tour of Josh, and the beauty of being a professional windsurfer is because we used to travel all over to get here, and nobody kind of knew who we were. But then when we came into this bubble, it was this energy of good energy between all the company. There was a little tension. You're competing, but it was positive. It was really, really positive. And and that's why when I see Antoine, he said, "Hey Brian, what's up?" And you gotta remember, he used to kick my ass, but he still had that Brian. I use the turtle. I do art, and I use the turtle. I mean, eye to eye. We speak eye to eye. It does not matter that you may be better than me, that you could jump higher than me, but there's a mutual respect between me and you.
In slalom, I think in slalom he beat you.
Yeah, he kicked my ass, and he kicked my ass and everything.
On the wave?
Yeah, I know. He's good. He is ultimate. No. Yeah. Maybe I'll get him in some stand-up paddle or surfing, but no, he's better than me. But you gotta remember, it's respect that I appreciate, and that is how you communicate to everybody. If you communicate that you're better, you're not going to communicate. But if you communicate eye to eye, we're all one. And when you're talking to any, like when I walk down on during the event, I enjoy it because you get to talk to people and you learn and hear their story. And that at the end of the day, after being a professional windsurfer, that's what you learn. So when I used to travel all over the world, I want to feel the people. I want to understand the people. That's why I have the Global Organic Tourism Project, because any country I want to go to, you want to feel the culture. You want to feel that energy, and you learn. And I want to learn. So I hear a flag there.
There's a flag.
What's that flag there?
Flag
means what? What does that mean?
Attacke. Action means.
That's action. That's the action flag.
Oh, it's the action flag.
Yeah, good
Start
action.
to prepare the...
For what? What are we doing?
It's freestyle heat coming up. Resale of the first heat of the day.
So what's it? Freestyle next?
Looking slightly better than before. We are going to try and run heat 30A again.
Okay, 30A.
So we have
Alex, Brian, can you hear me?
From A to count, 10-minute heat duration, 3-minute transition, 10-minute until the red flag for heat 38. So 10 minutes to Accasion. You don't know.
I know that.
Difficult.
Check 1, 2. Can you hear me, guys? No sound for the moment. Hello.
We are here again. Yeah, just switching the battery of the battery, the accu of the camera, and now we are again.
Guys,
here.
can you hear me?
So Brian, you stay a little bit and talk about what happened on the water, the action.
I can try. I don't know these maneuvers. These fellas are out of my league.
You invent the maneuvers, but you didn't.
20 years ago.
You didn't give them a name. Maybe you should.
No, these fellas.
This is a timer 1. This is timer 2. This is a timer 3. Something like this.
Yeah. I tell you, I'm old school, man.
Yeah.
What these fellas do on the water is mind blowing.
Yeah. So we wait a few seconds. The yellow flag is up, and we wait a few seconds. Thomas, join us on the stream. Yeah.
So I'm so bad at names. Is it Nick? You came to Barbados.
I think this is a blank heat. This is a blank heat. So the action comes in. Waiting for Brian, waiting for Tomish. Yeah, the stream is working.
Okay, hello.
Okay, I hear you in my headphone.
Okay, maybe.
Awesome. This is the blank heat.
Okay, I can hear myself on the live stream on YouTube as well. So, action.
Okay, action.
We get
So
the
we wait for
resale.
Brian. I think he's going to the restroom and he will come soon. And yeah, then you can both do the moderation. What is pretty fun for you, huh? If Brian is with you online.
Man,
did you ever expect this, that you
That's amazing.
moderate a freestyle heat with Brian Talma?
In my wildest dreams, I did not. Like, come on.
So I'm
It's one
happy
of a
for.
kind.
It is karma, you know. You support us so hard. You make the moderation. You always keep the people calm because for them it looks like not the World Cup final in football, and it's not so high professional. But in our view, it's okay. That's the best we can do. And there
It's
we
good.
see.
It's up there with the other streams that PWA has been doing. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
Ben is doing a great job, but in terms of video quality and like camera angles and following the action on the water, it's very good. So
Thank you very much.
think
Yeah, I
people
think
appreciate that,
with
and,
you professionals, the moderation becomes now on a new level.
so
Especially
the green
if-
flag is up, and I think we're in the
Yes.
heat, but
Yeah.
we gotta focus on the riders, and the
Yeah.
scores are not on the PWA page, so it's a bit of a difficult start today.
There's a green flag. What happened? What?
Blind heat.
It's blind heat.
Is this the blind
Yeah,
heat first?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's
Okay,
Anthony
okay,
Albo.
okay.
Antoine Albo. So we have another guy here sitting now. So you make the moderation together with Brian Talma and Anton Albo.
We can see how many moves each of them knows. Like we can ask them to call out the moves and check if they know it.
Yeah,
Antoine did the freestyle tour for a while, right?
yeah. He destroyed the boards. I think he is. I think he's 3 meter high. He's such a big guy. So I leave you alone. I
But
just
I
have
mean,
to say hello.
in 2000, Alex, I'm not sure
Yeah.
if you know, but in 2001, Antoine Albo was the freestyle world champion.
Yeah, he won everything. He was.
Yeah.
He is a legend. But if you see him now, he don't like a freestyle guy. You know, he look like a slalom
I know.
XXL guy. So it's not the
Yeah.
typical freestyle guy. All the young freestylers have long hairs and you know, this kind of reggae style. No, he not. So I say hello to him now, and you are alone for a while or for 5 minutes. Give your best,
All right,
man.
cool. Hello. Antoine, are you there? No, I'm alone, completely alone, I guess. Okay, so we have the ghost heat. We have resale of heat 30A. It's going to be a French battle, and then we're going to have a French champion to commentate on it. So it's a perfect setup. There is no indication from the previous heat that got cancelled who is more likely to win it, because they didn't get a chance to show their moves, but it's going to be really interesting. And let's wait. So on my watch, it's about 5.5 minutes until we get the action going. So get your coffee, get your food on, and sit down and relax, and let's bring it on. Looking at the camera, it looks like there are more guests now again, so I'm quite optimistic about this one. The sea is a bit calmer, and there looks to be a bit more wind, so hopefully they're going to be able to show us some good moves. And if we have Brian and Antoine on the microphones, it's going to be a fun time no matter what. If you are watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to the Surfmagazin Sylt channel, and then you're welcome to ask any questions on the chat. We will put them forward to Antoine and Brian. You can ask me, you can say who you are rooting for, you can call out the moves, you can, just be nice, no hate speech on the chat, and be supportive. But you're most welcome to interact, and we'll try to comment and answer every question and read everyone's messages. So and spread the word, send the link to your friends. If the wind continues, we're gonna have a beautiful ending of the freestyle double elimination and a proper Sunday action. It's so interesting to earlier in the day we had Bals Muller joining Brian Talma, and it was so interesting to see how different generation of pure stoked windsurfers, they get along so well and they share the same values, and you can see that at the core nothing has changed in 20 years in terms of the values they share, and it's so great. It's so like pure windsurfing lovers, these guys, pure enthusiasts. We need more people like them in the industry. All right, I got a message that between the heats there's going to be an interview. I guess that's going to be the interview with Antoine. There's 1 minute 20 left of the ghost heat, and after that the red flag up, 3-minute transition, and we are getting on with the action. And by the looks of the sea state, I'd say it's pretty unlikely that there will be slalom action anytime soon, but if the wind drops significantly, then the seas are going to come down, and maybe in the evening we can get some slalom sailing again. The forecast for today is not really promising for the wave action, but you never know on Sylt, anything can happen. So we keep our fingers crossed. And we will have Antoine Albo soon in the studio. He might be joining. To commentate on the heat, and if not, there will be an interview when there is a heat break after heat 30B, so this one and the next one, and then there's going to be a heat break before the winners go head to head. And good luck to all the Belgium guys. A message from Ibt van den Ven. Yeah, Dieter is still in the running, and he's looking solid. Yesterday he looked really good in his heat, highest score of the day. So he was the PWA Rider of the Day. And he is such a fierce competitor, Dieter. He knows exactly which moves he can do in which condition, and which moves will give him the highest possible score. So he's like having this probabilistic approach to heat sailing, and he can win. Like beating Dieter is never easy. He doesn't have bad heats, basically. Any change of getting the live score? Yeah, I think the live scores are going to show up on the PWA page as soon as the heat starts. So you got to refresh the PWA page, and once they are up, we are going to bring them on the screen as well. So it might take a moment, but I will call out the scores as soon as we are able to see them on the PWA page. So just tune in, and we'll get them sooner or later. Red flag is up. Yeah, looks like my watch was on time. It's 1 minute 25 until the heat starts. So 25 seconds. The red flag is going down, and the guys are cruising. They're planning left and right. So it looks better than at the finish of the previous one. And yeah. There are some steeper ramps on the inside. That could mean some bigger forwards, maybe some back loop or shifties. The wind is completely onshore, same as yesterday evening. So yesterday Antoine Martin did quite well sailing with a freestyle board and doing a lot of wave moves on the inside. So he passed a few heats, and today, the guys, like all the top freestyle guys, they can do back loops, push loops, stealth forwards. Most of the guys can do double forwards, so at least on one side. So it's going to be if the wind is strong enough, they will go for it, because these are high scoring moves, and they might be easier to do than some of the switch ducking moves with this chop. So I have a feeling we will see some high jumping if the wind allows us to. The wind readings on the tower on the hotel are 23 on average, 23 knots. So that's about. Green flag is up. Here we go. Action. First up, Nico. Got some speed. The board is bouncing up and down on the chop. Shaka, same as last time. Much better execution. Doesn't push through the 720, but that's probably better not to overdo it. And I just looking at the score update, we don't have it yet. I just missed what Anton Runes did. So you guys, if you saw it, you can write in the chat, and hopefully we can figure it out when the scores are up. It's Nico again, going switch and a funnel, right? Yeah, it's not going to be an air funnel, that's for sure. No one's calling that an air funnel. So yeah, slow start again. Not the highest scoring moves. Shove it Vulcan. That was supposed to go into a spot, but again, tricky conditions. Burner. Kulo. Sorry, he wasn't switch. Kulo from Anthony Runes. So that's a good power move that will score him. Okay, the scores are in. So the scores so far has been a Shaka 10 points, Shavit Vulcan 7 points, Funnel 8 points, and a Pasco from Runes that we didn't see 13.3. Air funnel and a Kulo, and he's ahead with 48.6 compared to 40 points from Nico. They both got in 3 counting moves, so boom, a Kulo on the other side from Anthony. Pretty wet one, so it's not going to be scoring high. The judges are pretty harsh on the landings. same as with the wave jumps, but these are the top guys in the world, so we expect them to do the moves clean, and that's how you separate them. So 6 points for that wet Kulo, and there was a 6.5 Kono from Nico. So after 4 moves each, Anthony Runes is 8 points ahead. And well, backloop in the background. And there was a quick spin, which must have been a air flakka, maybe wanted to go 720. I don't know. We just saw the finishing of that, but we'll see on the scoreline soon. And then Antoine going switch. Oh, nice takeoff on the ramp. One-handed burner. That's a good jump. Like, that's high. That's clean landed. Going full rotation in the air. Like 540 in the air. That's going to be scoring high. 15 points for that burner one-handed. I mean, well deserved. That was the best move we've seen so far. So there's Nico coming in, regular DAC, and a Kulo, and a pretty decent Kulo. High, landed on the tail, bit slow to go 540, but he got it. And before it was a flakka from Nico that we saw the finishing, air flakka with 9.7, so that was a solid score. And a pretty wet punch from Runes. So still, it's going to be his third scoring move on port tack, and now it looks like they all made 3 landed moves on each tack. So that's a much better start of the heat than last time. Backloop from Nico out of a chop, and he landed it perfectly. Not high, but like, wow. That's impressive how he could time everything together and land clean. Like these short nose boards that can squeeze in the rotation out of nowhere. So with 3 moves counting each, it's still Anthony ahead with 92.4. He's got a pretty severe penalty on variety on starboard tack, but still ahead because he did better moves. And going switch, no-handed burner. Nice, a bit wet on the landing, but like no-handed burner is a level up. Definitely should be a scoring move, I think. And that was on starboard tack again, so that's gonna hurt his variation, but we'll see what the score is gonna be. Nico going switch. So hard to navigate the chop, to get the speed, get everything in place, and then looks like there was a crash from Anthony. We didn't get the visuals, but yeah, both on our screens now, both going on port tack. And on port tack, it's actually advantage Nico, 2 points ahead, but on starboard tack, it's big advantage from Antoine. And he got 14.8 for that no-handed burner, but 0 points for variation because it's another burner. So he's counting 2 burners, but he's counting only 1. Almost made the punch, Nico. Yeah, interesting. It's 7 points apart from those guys, and there's 4 minutes till the end of the heat, so everything to play for, and I have a feeling it will be tight until the very last minute. But the good thing is that the guys have power to, like, speed and power to make the moves. They have made 9 moves each already, and yeah, hopefully this heat is not getting cancelled. Wind, it looks like it's there. There are some gas to power them up, and action. So Nico going switch again, tacking the sail, and a burner, and another burner from Anthony. That's strange. That would be a third burner on starboard tack. I don't know. Maybe we didn't see the beginning, so it's hard to say. But for the back loop earlier, Nico got 13 points, so that was a solid move. Okay, so it was an air funnel from Anthony Runes that we saw the ending, and it's 12.3. It's going to be his counting move so far, and he edges ahead a little bit more. It's now 9 point separation. Now Nico makes the punch, and that will maybe help with his scores, but I'm not entirely sure because it was pretty wet, and he has a good air flaka scoring 9.7. So yeah, he needs to step up his game on port deck, but actually he needs to step up his game on starboard deck even more. So 9 points difference between the guys, and from the very start, it's Anthony Runes. It's difficult. I don't know how to say his name. Sorry. He's in the lead. Tacks around. He doesn't. He's 42 points on starboard tack, and these are some big moves. Gregor, I don't know. I just used my wristwatch to capture the time when the flag was up, so I don't think we can put it on the screen. It's 1 minute 40 left, and I'm gonna tell the time every now and then, so we get some sort of an overview of how much they got. But they are filling up the scorecards. There's Nico going duck, and that didn't work out. So he's not gonna go for a clue first Spock. That's not gonna help him anyway. That would be a waste of move. So yeah, 1 minute 15 left, and still 9 points between them. Nothing changed there. Struggling for power now a little bit, maybe. Looks like there's a gust coming in. Another punch. No, don't do another punch, please. Okay, jibe. That would be a third punch, and he didn't, like the previous wet punch he did was just 8 points, and it's not his scoring move. So unless he makes like a punch into flaka, it's not gonna help his scores, and it seems to be pretty hard to rotate the second move now after landing in the chop. And looks like Nico crashed on starboard tack. We didn't really see what it is. Maybe we'll see on the scores. And whoa, there's only 15 seconds left, so there's the last move on port tack for each. Failed tack from Anthony, and trademark Chachu on the buzzer, making it really wet but sailing out. And yeah, guys, so in the end they didn't manage to do 8 moves each, but they have 4 counting moves, like 3 counting moves and something extra. 4 moves on port tack for Anthony Ruins, and 5 moves on starboard tack, and there was 6 attempts for Nico on port tack and 5 attempts on starboard. Very tricky conditions. You can see they didn't get the power they wanted. Still, the heat looks like it's counting, and we're on to the next one. Dieter van der Eycken going against Sam Steve, so another French guy in it. So we're looking for a Black Severn, and we're looking for another Neil Pride sail. And yeah, interesting to see. Sam is putting up a good show, and looks like he got so much better at choppy condition over the last years. He was known from amazing flat water combinations from Lucat and south of France, like doing crazy triple, quadruple maneuvers on perfect flat water. But previously he struggled a little bit in Sylt in 2019, if I remember right. But he's now fighting for the top places in the double elimination. So he had some high scores yesterday, and I'm looking forward to see what he can do. We missed out on his and Dieter's heat. That was last heat of the day yesterday, and there was some technical difficulties with the stream, so we lost it. But yeah, we got 1 minute 5 seconds to go. The red flag is going to go down soon. Yeah, there we go. 1 minute to go, and let's get ready to rumble. Write in the chat who's your favorite for this one. I know that there's some support for the Belgium guys, so I'm rooting for Dieter myself as well. I've met him a few times in person. He's a super cool guy, super technical. He's a great coach. He's doing wave clinics in Tenerife. He's doing the wave event as well. It's always nice to see guys commit to multiple disciplines, and doing good in both is quite difficult. So definitely well done, Dieter, so far. And he's been the freestyle world champion back in the days, and you have to appreciate that. He's been the world champion in 2015. That was quite an unexpected one. There we go. The heat is on. The cameras on Dieter, and he's sailing without the back strap yet, so not really powered up. Okay, now he's going switch. And air funnel, nice one. The air funnels been scoring over 10 points, like Anthony in the previous one, 12.3. I expect this is going to be similar range, so that's a good opening move for sure. And we got the scores online, 12.6. There's a Kula from Sam, a bit slow on the landing. There was a nice high rotation, but he just didn't get all the way around, so there will be a little penalty there. Dieter going with a Kono, nice. I mean, he can do those moves so clean in any conditions. He's the technical master. He's like Klaas Vogel of freestyle sailing. For some, it might be boring, but he's so technical. He's so solid, just pure solid sailing. Sam going switch, nice burner, better landing. Let's see how this is going to score. So far, Dieter started with a 12.6 on his air funnel and 13.3 on the Kono, and there was 9 points for the 9.5 for the Kula for Sam, and the burner is going to be, oh, that was high. That was a burner, but he goes down. We just saw the end of it. So hard to compare who's in the lead with not many scores coming in yet, but Dieter's moves has been pretty solid. I expect a shaka out of nothing. He was barely going, and he just used the wave to throw around the shaka. Great technique. Okay, the burner for Sam and Steve was 13.4, so it's actually neck and neck after one move each. They are 3 points separating them. Dieter in the lead. Early days. We got 7.5 minutes till the end of the heat, so there's plenty to play for. Sam with some speed, regular duck, and no, he bails out of it. And Dieter wobbling around. So it's interesting, they have a bit of a different approach to the heat, with Dieter van der Eycken staying much more on the outside, and Sam and Steve trying to get maybe the steeper ramps on the inside. Interesting to see who's gonna benefit from that. Dieter with a massive one-handed Kula, was it? Or burner? Jesus, I didn't see if he used the wave perfectly. Now I'm looking at the replay, and it looks like it was a Kulo. So that's going to be a high-scoring move. Meanwhile, the Shaka puts Sam and Steve in front, but that's because he's got one extra move counting, so still all wide open. Oh, it was a burner according to the judges, so my mistake. The scores are not in for it yet. These are going switch. And another burner, this time on port tack, so... No, okay, there was a Kulo 13.7 on starboard, and now a burner on port tack, so... with 4 moves landed, 3 moves counting, it's Dieter ahead, and now Sam and Steve drops the deck. I mean, saved it, so it's not going to be a crash. That's good on him. It's going to keep him... it's going to still help him to. Alex, can you go back to the scores? Like, you moved the scores to the out of the screen. Yeah, perfect, thank you. Shaka, was it? Shaka from Dieter. Yeah, pretty good one. Good to get a third move counting, and that's gonna be his third move on starboard tack, and it's gonna be a pretty solid score on starboard tack with 2 moves with over 13 points. Oh, that was a huge air funnel from Sam on starboard, and that's gonna put him right back into it. He had like serious airtime on that one. Dieter's sailing a bit closer on the inside. Shaka on port tack. Shaka 720. The previous Shaka got him 9.7, so also not a bad score. He's on 85 points without a move on port tack. So with the Shaka coming in, it's going to be about 15 points with variety added. So that's going to be 100 total, more or less, and that's a solid score already with the light winds we have. It's pretty good. It's what you expect from Dieter, I guess. This massive air funnel was a 14.6, so the highest score of the heat so far. And then he did Kono, and also Dieter with a Kono on starboard, and Sam and Steve going switch, full speed down the wave, nice clean burner. But he already had a burner on starboard tack, so that's a bit strange. Maybe he wanted a better one. So Dieter has filled in his minimum score sheet, 3 moves counting, 100 points, 0.5, solid. Sam and Steve has a lot of work to do. He's behind on both port tack with 3 moves in, and well, on starboard he can match Dieter. I think he's got high scores on starboard, but he's dropped the variety, a back loop from Dieter. He's not pulling it. Water starting, but it's not going to be his scoring move. So this is why the variety is so important. Sam and Steve on starboard tack did all like moves that are similar in terms of wind rotation, bringing burners and air funnel, and because he's counting 2 burners, one is scoring 0 points in the variety, so even though the moves themselves have a high score, he loses on variety quite a bit. And I think actually the second burner is not counting, so it's so he's still missing a move. In fact, you cannot count 2 same moves. You cannot do 2 burners on the same tack. The time on, it's 2 minutes 15 seconds till the end of the heat. Dieter switched, getting some speed now, using the wave in front of him. So difficult. Like, you could see he was trying to get as much speed from the wave as he could, but as soon as he dacked, he kind of stopped, pushed the tail a little bit maybe, or I don't know. Out of Dieter's skipping on moves, it's gotta be super tricky. Meanwhile, on starboard tack, Sam and Steve landed a Skoku, and that puts him right back into it with just 4 points, 4.1 points difference. So he's actually been really good on starboard tack, Sam, 40 points, but shove it Spock, slow Spock, but he makes it, I guess.
I understand none of those moves.
No,
And a cool, Brian, nice to have you. Yeah, it's been hell of a game change in freestyle, and it all started with Polito and the Bonarian boys. I think they broke the barriers as you wanted freestyle to do. They did it, and now we are struggling to catch up on the names, even not to mention on the rotations in the air.
Hey Tomas, this is Marine. Nice to be back on the
Hey.
show. How are you doing?
It's good. It's good. The action is on, and Dieter is putting up a masterclass. But Sam Steve is throwing up big moves on starboard tack, and now he needs to match the scores on port tack to make it happen. So as we are, they are both counting 3 moves on each tack, and Sam Steve is 4 points behind. So now it's time to step up the game. But we got only 20 seconds left in the seat, so
Yeah, it's the last
green
minute.
flag is down. It's the last minute, and they are both on starboard tack, so that's actually a little advantage to Dieter, because it's going to be hard to... Sam knows he tacked, but he crashed, so... Game over. So tricky, huh? You could see, like, the guys were wanting more power.
Yeah, this is the end of the heat,
and it's all about the power now.
They are even struggling to plane. I think they are all on the big gear, like 100-liter boats, 4.8, even 5.2 for some of them, which is really big for freestyle gear. The sails are super powerful.
Nico Akasian was yesterday on... how do you say his last name, by the way?
Agation.
Oh, I'm not... Say it again.
Agation.
Agation?
Yeah. You have it right.
Nico Akasian, yesterday he said in the PWA interview that he was on 4.8 and in the 91. So that was not bad, I guess. But the wind was a bit better maybe yesterday, actually.
Yes, it was slightly better, and even the wave sailors, Morgan Rowe this morning was out on his 5.3 and 93 liters, which is quite massive for him.
Oh, yeah. That's massive. So we have a heat break now. There's going to be a 13-minute break. Well, 11 and a half now left. So do we have an interview lined up for that, or what's going on?
I will check with the boys. Antoine Albo is here. I think they have an interview planned, so I will check with them.
Or are they recording it offline with the other camera and just uploading it later, or what's going on?
I will check. I will be right back.
Yeah, so we should have Antoine live, so if there are any questions for him, please write them up on the YouTube chat. You need to subscribe to Surfmagazin Sylt to be able to write in the chat, but hey, come on, they're doing us a big favor with the stream, so least we can do is follow them on Instagram, follow them on YouTube, and like the stream, so that all the algorithms push them up a little bit, and they will have an easier time promoting their work in the future.
I'm back out on the camera, Tomasz.
I didn't get what Nico was saying. Sorry. Yellow flag up, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be action soon, because they are just running an empty heat to keep the procedure on time, so that the riders are not confused. It's we have to wait one heat, because Dieter, who is in the last heat, he needs to get notified that he advanced to the next round, and he's going to be competing against Anthony Runes. So he has to have time to come out the water, be told that he got through, and then he's going for the next heat. Maybe changing his gear, or yeah, we don't know.
Thomas, sorry it's a final heat.
No, it's a heat break now. We have
We have a heat break now,
minutes before the heat. Yeah.
We do now an interview with legends.
Perfect, amazing.
In the best way you can imagine. It's Antoine Albo from France, from La Rochelle. Near. Yeah, I need the microphone cable higher, or I destroy your camera. So you need to go up there.
Yeah.
Antoine, jump, but don't jump from the balcony.
Okay, what do you know?
And you also up.
Okay.
So I give the microphone to the legends. We can call it Series of Legends here. Huh? No,
Yeah.
no.
Perfect.
No,
I have
you
one
come with us,
question
man.
from the-
Okay.
So how are we gonna do this?
You have to go in front. I have to ask him questions.
Okay,
I have one question. If you can hear me, guys, I have
So-
one question from the viewers about.
Okay, here we are,
and
Surfmagazin
plans to beat
Sylt
the
from the
world's
island of
speed
Sylt,
Windsurf record.
out in the Strandhotel Win. It's a bit windy here, that's what the name Win said. And by my side is Antoine Albo and Brian Talma. And yeah, I'm overwhelmed about this. Antoine, how is it here for you on the island? How many times you have been here?
Oh, long time. I think first time was 1992. I was a young kid trying to go on the tour, and I had some good result already in France, but I was just starting few events that year. And then I start really competing all the events, waves and all the disciplines, like 94, I think, 2 years after.
You're still around 50 years old now. It's crazy that you can compete. It's like there's no difference between an 18 years old boy and you on the water. We see it. It's the same level of performance. How do you do this? Do you have your special food or whatever? I know you have from Obelix this drink, you know.
The magic drink.
Yeah.
No, there is no magic drink. But no, I think by doing sports, you know, you just keep your body in good shape, and the way to think about this sport, this windsurfing, is you need to have this kind of spirit, you know, that you need to have, and you need to enjoy, like that's what is keeping me alive, you know, and I did this all my life. So I want to continue, you know, and to come here in Sylt. I really like this place. The island here, we can see, is beautiful. We got some amazing contests this week. We did like 10 slalom. So I enjoy a lot. My result is not that great. I can do better for sure, I know. But I was competing with, like you say, some young kids, and I'm still there, you know. I can still do some finals, and why not win few events, you know, few races.
Yeah. Brian, what's your fastest race result? How fast you can go?
Let me tell you something. Antoine has beat me most in every discipline I've done. So life upon earth, Antoine. We've had fun together, indoor events here at Sylt. We had many fun events last time I came here. And you know the amazing part, when I saw you, remember 4 years ago, the energy was so positive. And I want to tell you, I said it before, and what I come to this event is to bring the energy. And the energy we have between all the competitors. When I saw you, when I saw Ben for last day, it was like, it was positive, no? It was like, yeah, good to see, because we bring back the memories. So when I saw him, I remember you in Grand Canary, your family. You all were creating so much action. Your whole family is in the apartments. I was staying there too, and that's when you were a kid. And to see you, I think it's 20-something world titles. And you know what? He's 50. I heard you'd be 50, and now you what?
So you have both big projects. You already explained Masters of the Ocean, all the tourist stuff you do, and you have your own project. What is the name of it, and what's your goal?
It's a speed project. I want to beat the world sailing record, which is 65 knots, so a little bit more than 122 km per hour. So the name of the project is Zephyr Project, and we are trying to get some good engineer and good people to build a new windsurfing, a new board to actually accelerate, because with the gear we have now, we are more or less stuck at around 100 km per hour, so it's too much drag. And we want to do it in open ocean as well. So we give us like 2-3 years to do this. So we actually need support. We would like to have some good guys to come with us, you know, some good sponsors to come in the stories and see what we do.
You're looking for sponsors now, right? Raise some money for this. Do something like a crowdfunding maybe. That's also a way to do it. So if you want to support Antoine for his new record, that will be fantastic. And yeah, there's another thing I don't mention normally in the interview, but Nick, our camera guy, he didn't say, you know, I hang around with him 200 days in year to make all the content and so. And he didn't tell me that he have birthday today.
Yeah, happy birthday,
It's
man.
so crazy. Happy birthday, Nick, man. Why did you say anything? So I'm not your mother. I can't. You don't know. I don't know it. I don't look on your Facebook page. You don't say anything. It's awesome. So you need to drink in the evening, I think. So Antoine, freestyle. I try to bring them in front of the microphone, but they are not really feeling comfortable with this because freestyle. You have been the world champion in freestyle 2001. What changed until these last 21 years?
Actually, a lot of things. You know, they go way higher than what we were doing at that time. But it's like it's more than 20 years now. So it's good that they increase the level. They jump a lot now. They even go with the foil. They go freestyling with the foil. They go even higher. So now the level increase a lot, and there is a lot of new guys coming, bringing some new moves. We were talking about how many moves they have, but I was saying like maybe 30, 40, and you told me more than 300. So it's like amazing, and you cannot believe it. But you can see the action here in Sylt is amazing. Today they are still competing. They are trying to do the double elimination to see who's the best guy, and we see the action here.
Yeah. Right now there's I don't know. I don't think it's a heat. I think they have a blank heat.
Yes.
So we have a little bit more time. Brian, what do you want to ask Antoine?
What do I ask? Well, first of all, which I'm really happy, Antoine and the family, and you're a family man now. Yeah. So tell us how that's going, because you told me, Brian, he told me, right? He only sailed 3 times in the last 3 months. I don't know if that's top secret, but how do you combine the family, trying to be world champion, and being the fastest man on this planet?
But right now I have some new project, you know, with the speed thing, and so to be world champion, it was a little bit too much to think about it this year. But I wanted to do the best I could. But it's just amazing, you know, to have the family. I have 2 kids. I have 6 and almost 1 year. So it's just amazing to have those kids and a beautiful wife as well. So it's just a dream, you know, when you think about it, and especially when for example they didn't come here because, you know, Alani, the big one, was in school. Right. So it's not so great to miss the school when you are learning how to read. So you are missing them so much, you know, and but in the same time, you know, it's like a part of the job. You need to go and then come back. But we're gonna make some good traveling again all together, and we have a happy life. You know, we live in a small island as well, Île de Ré. So it's not as beautiful as yours. It's not sunny every day, but it's a good place.
So how old is your youngest one?
The youngest one is gonna turn 1 year in a few days.
So you hear that? He has a 1 and a 6 model.
Yes.
So you're a professional now. So yeah. So what's your island like? Mine is sunny.
Yeah, I know.
The wind blowing is blue. It's Caribbean calypso music, rum. So tell me about your island.
No, it's like you know, it's in Europe, so we have all the season. Yeah. So the summer is amazing because there's a lot of people coming in holiday. So you have people coming for party, to do sports, to do windsurfing sport. I think we need to give the thing, but it's beautiful, you know, but I like it.
So you said you have a center down there too, right? Yeah. I have a center in Barbados.
Yeah, I know.
All the pros, they have centers and apartments, and so tell me what your gig?
We have the center there, but it's open only June, July, August, and for the holiday season it's really on the beach, you know. It's this big cabin with catamaran, windsurfing, SUP, wing. You can do what you want, kayak, and it's really nice place. It's really beautiful. The ocean is blue as well in the summer, and then become brown like here in the winter.
Just in between, there's no action on the water. It's still a blank heat. Now the red flag is on top, so we have a few seconds more.
And you, Brian, tell me,
Me?
So still the center there?
Yeah, so I have a center in Barbados at the Silver Sands, the action,
Yeah.
action area, action apartments,
All the time.
action shop, action art gallery, action, more action. 5 children, you have to have a quiver.
Yes.
You have to have a thing for each size
Yes.
of life upon
Yes,
earth.
yes.
One going university, one going high
Yeah.
school, going preschool.
He's good, man.
So I all I can say, I really want, and last time I saw you, you were with your family,
Yeah.
and I really want to congratulate, because as you know, you're now again 50. That's what it's about. It's
Yes.
like me seeing it from the heart.
Yes.
Because it's about reproduction, and that's where I am at. It's about
Yes.
humanity and our friendship. Traveling the tour, we remember.
Yes,
I see you.
remember.
I remember. I was there when you were world champion. We were there at the indoors event.
Yes.
So it's really beautiful.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, so see you guys later on the water.
Action, and more action.
Yes.
Yeah, cool, Anton, man. Yeah, but I used to remember I saw you last time here.
Yes,
Same time. Almost like same place. Yeah. Action.
What a legend, Antoine Albodas. All the young slalom guys are so lucky to still have him on the tour to learn so much from the guy. We have 40
So
seconds
there's
left
1
until
minute
the-
left before the start of the heat. It's gonna be Anthony Ronetz against Dieter van der Ecken.
Maureen, what's your
Too much action here.
I know.
Maureen, what's your bet on who's gonna take the win in that heat?
That's a very good question. I think it's going to be a very tight heat. I'm not a good enough freestyler to judge whether Anthony or Dieter will take the lead. Let's see what happens.
There we go. Action time. Get eyes on Dieter first. And the opening move is going to be a shaka. A really low shaka. That's
Okay, sorry guys, we had a small issue with the live
Switch.
stream. So right now it's Anthony Ruenes
air funnel.
against Dieter van der Ecken.
Little air funnel and a little shaka to open the scores. They are aiming for better moves for sure. Sneaks back loops. So cool. Air funnel scoring 11 points, so that's not bad actually, and a shaka is only 8.3. Waiting for the back loop. Anthony with a pulo.
So right now Dieter
No,
is
with a
in the
burner,
lead
sorry.
with 29 points. Anthony is trailing behind with 16 points.
Dieter with a funnel himself, not really an air funnel in my book, but we'll see how the judges call it. Back loop scoring 11.2. Anthony going switch. He's going to use the wave to keep the speed. And a burner. Was there a one hand off? I'm not sure, but it was a solid burner nonetheless. So it's early days advantage Runes.
So do we have an update on the points, Thomas?
Yeah. On my look, it's now with 3 moves counting for Dieter. He's on 41.7, and 2 moves counting for Anthony. He's 31.3. So it's pretty close, and I'd say small advantage to Anthony. and he's gonna drop in the burner anytime soon. So yeah, looking good for now, the French. And punch. That's a good punch. That's again using the wave to keep the speed going downwind. That's pretty smart. That's the only way to do it in Sylt, I guess. So it was a no-handed burner according to the judges, and it's a 15 point. That's pretty good. So with free moves counting, he's 10 points ahead of Dieter. That's
Good.
solid.
Still very technical conditions here in Sylt. Light winds, super choppy water, sorry.
Oh no, it's not working.
The wind is going a bit up and down. The riders are not planing at the moment. Let's hope it improves. There's a lot of echo with the microphone. I don't know why. Is it normal?
Yes.
Eyes on Dieter. He's getting up to speed with a duck and a kono. And that's a good, clean kono. That scored him well in the previous heat. So he's going to be right back in it. Anthony with an even higher kono. So matching move for move. That's a good tactic sometimes. And he's ahead in that battle of konos. So back to advantage back to
No, you can try.
Anthony. And so far they have not crashed a single time. These guys are so good. Like it's hard to imagine how difficult the conditions are, and they're just landing their moves one by one.
At this level, all the riders have the potential to be world champion.
No question about it. So there's been a little exchange. It was either an Airflaka 720 or maybe they're gonna call it a Pasco from Anthony, and a burner from, or a Kudo actually. I already. Yeah, that was a burner from Dieter. I'm looking at the YouTube so I can have a little delay and a replay if I miss the move. Anthony going switch, quite good speed, and another no-handed burner. Oh, that's strange, he already did one. He did a great one, but maybe he didn't do a no-handed and there was a mistake from the judges. So it was called a Pasco and it's a 9.5. So now Anthony has free moves counting on each tag with a 96 total score, so that's pretty good. But in previous heat, Dieter got over 100, so air funnel. That's going to be a solid move. We haven't seen any double moves today yet, and he's going to be right back in it, Dieter. Burner scoring 13 points, so it's at the moment with a full sheet of scores. We have 97 for Anthony and 89 for Dieter. And we got 3.5 minutes left in this heat, guys. So there's time to change the scores for sure. Yeah, we would like to have the scores back on the screen. Alex, can we do that? Marine, can you get Alex to do it?
Yes, I will try to get him inside.
Give it a try, and we should keep it on for forever, because there's, watching it without scores, it's so difficult.
Yes, I know. We
But
only had
right
a
now with
small
the
issue
Kulo
with
and air funnel, Dieter is in a slight lead. He's 98.7 compared to 97.5, so it's 1.2 points ahead, and it's 3 minutes on the clock. Whew, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be like tiny margins, so every bit of height, every bit of extra rotation is gonna count in this one. And Anthony doing this no-handed burner actually improved his score by 1.3 points, and now a massive one-handed air funnel from him. That's gonna be a high score, but that's gonna drop his variety again. He already scored an air funnel, so I think it's going to be replacing that score of 11 points previously. So he's going to improve on his score, and I expect him to take the lead after that one. Meanwhile, Dieter crashed his move, and there's not going to be any changes in his scoring for the moment. 2 minutes on the clock. Tiny shove it from Anthony. I wonder if they're going to call it a move at all or not. That would harm, because it takes away one of his sport attack attempts. But with the new score coming in, he's on 101 points and he's back in the lead. And that air funnel scoring 14 points. Shaka from Dieter. He already did a Shaka on port tax, so he's not gonna get a much more points out of this one. I think he needs a bit more risk, and Dieter is a very calculated risk taker. So and another Kono, and he already did a Kono on starboard tack, and it was a decent Kono, but maybe this one is going to be a little bit better. So again, tiny margins, getting 1 point on each move is going to help him, and actually it does help him a lot, with the Shaka scoring 3 points higher than the previous one, and the Kono scoring 3 points higher than the previous one. He's 101 points, 0.7, so he's actually my score updated, and he's 104.6, so he's 4.5 points ahead of Anthony. And we got only 30 seconds on the clock. Oh my god, that is close. One-handed burner is just gonna help him again. Dieter doing what Dieter does, just ticking off the moves and then doing everything a bit better again. Perfect heat from him tactically, hardly crashing, starting with a good score and then improving it with even better moves. The heat is over. On the PWA score page, it's 105 points for Dieter and 101 for Anthony. He did not manage to improve his scores in the last 2 or 3 moves that he did, and that really decided on the heat. He was ahead most of the time, but Dieter was just upping his game move after move, and in the end, the small margins, the scale tips towards Dieter. He advances. So he's guaranteed a 5th place Dieter. This guy is a competing machine. Now we're gonna have another heat break, and next up it's gonna be Dieter van der Eycken against Jentel. Who cares?
So
and that's gonna be finally not a battle of the 2 former world champions, battle of the Belgiums. And there was some support on this on the chat for Belgian guys, so guys will be happy to see 2 Belgians go against each other. And that way, it's beating Dieter in any conditions. You got to be spectacular, because you know he's not gonna drop any easy points, and that's exactly what he did. If you look at his scorecard, he's counting an air funnel, a Shaka, and a burner, and on the other side he's counting a back loop, a Kulo, and a Kono. But all of these in very high style points, so getting almost maximum possible points for each move, and that's tough to compete with. Meanwhile, Anthony counted a Kulo, Ponch, and a Pasco, and on the other attack he counted a Kono, a burner, no-handed, and an air funnel, and he just fell short 4.5 points. Okay, Marine, since we have a heat break, I need a little break myself. I'll be back in 2 minutes, so feel free to entertain.
I will do my best. Have a good rest.
Yeah, or I'll be right back.
So only 10 minutes now before the heat starts. We will have Kayas. I think he was on the left of your screen, and he will be up against Dieter van der Ekens, former world champion in freestyle. So both of them have the potential to go through. It will be a very tough battle, I think, for both of them. Both Belgium, and they are used to Sylt. And it will come down to Dieter displayed a very good show in the former heat. I think he crashed only one of his moves, so super solid sailing from him. So yeah, we will see who will take the lead. Who's your money on? Do you have any? Who is your favorite rider in this heat? Let us know in the comments. As you can see, very good weather today. The wind is a bit light. The riders on their big gear. Most of them on 4.8, 5.2, big boards, so 93 liters, 99, 100 liters. This is Anthony. He looks super happy about his performance. Probably a bit gutted that he didn't go through. It was such a tight heat. He's now being interviewed by Sarah Jackson. He's really talented. He used to, I think he used to pass quite a few rounds in Sylt in the waves, and especially he's really dangerous on starboard attack. So too bad, he's not in the double anymore. But yeah, he's super dangerous in those conditions. He looks quite stoked from his performance. I'm sure he wanted to probably go for another heat, but well, that's the game. So congratulations to him for going this far in this elimination. These are very tough conditions, light winds, very strong currents, onshore, totally onshore, so it's kind of hard to take off the ramps. And it feels like your board is sticking to the water because of that. And it's hard to get some flat sections for the sliding moves. So very tricky conditions for freestyle. It's obviously not ideal, but still, the guys managed to pull off some massive moves. So hands down to them for this gigantic show that is Sylt. Sylt is the biggest event of the tour we have. Like, as you can see, there are many tents on the beach. It's very crowded during the weekends. Many people come and watch the competition. So it's great that we have some wind today to entertain them. Yeah, good forward loop from Jentel, I'd say. He's warming up.
Yeah, it's so difficult for Jentel
So
because
yeah,
like
today
Dieter
good
already
northwesterly wind. When it's northwesterly here, it's west northwest to be precise. It's dead onshore, so that's why the judges prefer to send the freestylers out there and not the white riders. They have bigger boards, they plane very quickly. So for the wave sailors, it would have been a super tricky day to go out. Maybe the wind will be a little bit stronger at the end of the afternoon, probably by 5. So the next call for the waves is at 1, so 20 minutes. By the look of it, I think the freestyle will continue probably today. They are not limited to one single, one double. If I'm correct, they can go on for another single, and another double. So many of them they will probably back on the watch after the final, which is good because Sylt is the only event this year. There have been some problems with organizing Fuerteventura this year, so only World Cup event for the freestyle. No event for the women this year. That's really sad for them because they are all training super hard. Maaike Hoeverman here is she's also competing in the waves, but she's really on for freestyle. She wants a world title. She wants to beat Sarah Kita, who has been dominating the discipline for years now. So I will hope they will come back. That women freestyle will come back next year. And maybe Sylt. In Sylt, the only discipline where the women can be is the waves. And yeah, it would be epic if they could put up some prize money for freestyle as well. That'd be really cool.
So, Maureen, did they say on the skippers meeting
I
that
can
they
see
plan
there's
to
a
run
wave
a
sailor at the
second?
back of the screen who's enjoying the super onshore conditions here. It's really tricky. I think this is the first time when I saw sailors flipping their sails in the middle of the bottom turn for the top turn. So it's the guys here know how to sail, especially class Voget, Loniamer. They're used to those conditions because they come here for the national championship. So how much time do we have left? Probably 4 minutes. Let me check.
We've got 3 minutes 50 seconds until red flag.
Yeah, still a couple of minutes before the heat starts. The shore break looks as gnarly as ever, even though the tide is quite low. Normally at low tide it's much easier to go out. But yeah, now I think the tide is pushing, so yeah, it's really tricky to go out. In some heats, I remember some of the guys could not even go out, and they managed to like pull their moves on the beach, basically, on the white water. So yeah, today the wind is a bit lighter, which makes it a bit harder to go out, but then yeah, there's less white water to go over, so yeah. I really hope the wind will stay steady. So the wind is looking good, both riders on the water warming up. And now on screen you have Steven van Broekhoven, another Belgium freestyle rider. Belgium is the home of many of the top freestylers. They have really epic spots for freestyles, flat lakes, consistent winds, and yeah, super strong fleets of freestylers out there. So this time the French mafia has not taken over the entire fleet, the entire top 5. Only Adrien Bosson is still left standing.
But he's standing on top. So that's the best place to be.
So Thomas, you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. We've been talking on top of each other a little bit so far. Sorry for the viewers. We didn't realize we don't hear each other, sort of. We have 1 minute 30 until the red flag, so soon there's action. And it's pretty tricky for Yandel because he's kind of cold. Like, he could warm up on the side of the heat area, but Dieter has been sailing in 3 heats already, or 2 heats today. And he's in the moment. He's like, he knows the conditions probably better, and it's not going to be easy for Yandel. It's always difficult when you have to defend, like against someone who already sailed a few heats and is like feeling good on the water. What do you think, Maureen? That would be a huge upset if Dieter beats Yentl. What are your projections for this one?
We have seen a few upsets already. So Amado was defeated by one of the French riders, Nicolas Gassion. And yeah, another upset. Let's go for it. I mean, for upsets.
Let's go for an upset. Who doesn't like an upset? And I mean, it's Belgian against Belgian, so
yeah, it won't be a real upset. Both have been world champions. Both are sailing
happy.
Super solid.
Yeah, and I think like these conditions, they sort of level the field. So if Yentl will not be able to go for his double power moves, like double burners and double kudos, then it's going to be really tricky to beat Dieter, because they will be doing the same moves, and Dieter is very technical and he lands them very clean, like we saw in the previous heat. So unless Yentl throws in a shifty or some spectacular high-scoring moves, it's going to be very tricky. They will have to basically do the same moves, and whoever does them better is going to win. Let's see. I think Yentl, he can do. I wouldn't be surprised to see a double burner or a double kulo or a spot kulo, for instance. And these are the moves we have not seen yet today. But from Yentl, you can expect the biggest moves on show today. So let's wait and see.
Yes. What were the classics today?
The classics are like burners and kulos, like single power moves, no-handed burners. Air funnel was one of the highest scoring moves. Back loops were scoring high. Good shaka is also scoring pretty well, but generally, like Kono, we haven't seen any kabikushis and skokus yet, so there's a lot of good moves that the guys have not been able to do yet because the conditions are so tricky. But Yentl he can do a massive move out of nothing. His pop is crazy. So I'm thinking double kulo is going to be on the menu in this one.
Would you say that sliding moves are easier today than power moves?
I think not, actually. Just sliding in this water state is crazy. Like, I think it's easier to go all the way in the air. But this is not my level of freestyle. I know all the moves, but I can't do them myself, so I don't know. But we're seeing more power moves anyway because they are scoring higher, so let's wait and see. Green flag, we're down to 1 minute. Yellow flag, sorry.
Yeah, it's probably hard to find ramps for power moves, especially when it's super on shore like this.
The power moves like Kulo or Pasco or Burner, they can do them in between the waves, but then I wonder if they're gonna go for more back loops and stall forward or something, you know.
Yeah,
Shifty,
we haven't seen many of those jumps today.
I'd love to see a shifty today.
Let's hope the wind will allow that. That would be epic.
Game on. Both riders going port tack, Dieter first, tacking. Boom, burner. Nice one. Good opening move. Shaka from Yentl slides through a slow 720. Maybe they will call it a Shaka Flaka, I'm not sure. It was definitely more sliding than popping for the second rotation, but it's still a double. And now Dieter with a burner on the other side, right? Was it a burner or was it a kulo? I didn't see the beginning. Wait for the scores to tell us. Yentl with a Kono, a bit slow. He didn't rotate all the way in the air. There will be a penalty on that. We are waiting for the scores to update, but the guys are doing the moves pretty quickly, so it's already 2 or 3 moves each. And
so right now with the scores, Yentl has 15 points for 1 move. Dieter 32 points for 2 moves, 1 on starboard tack, 1 on port tack.
From Dieter, and then there's a kulo from Yentl, and as things stands, it's burner 11.5, air funnel 14.3 for Dieter, and a kulo of 11 points for Dieter, and for Yentl on the scores is 10 points Kono and 10.3 Shaka. So it's close, but Dieter has 1 more move, and I can see on the stream score they updated again. So it's with 3 moves counting, it's advantage Dieter. Now makes the Shaka Flaka, which is better. What better is the Yentl ones, Yentl with a burner, clean, solid, could be counting high. So with 4 moves in the back, it's Dieter on 68 points already.
So just as
That's-
a reminder, the best moves on each stack counts for the points, but the riders only
Free.
have 8 attempts.
3
on
best
each.
moves out of 8 attempts. Yeah. Nice Pasco from Yentl. That's gonna be a good counting move. And now Dieter going on starboard. Regular DAC. And he wanted a cabbie, but he stopped on the landing and just muscles around a Kono, and he already had a Kono, so that's not gonna better his scores. With 5 moves on the card, it's advantage Yentl by 1/10 of a point. And here he goes with a Kulo on starboard tack. That's gonna up his scores. The Pasco we saw on the screen was 14.4, which is the highest scoring move of the heat so far.
And yes, I was talking to some of the riders, and it's hard sometimes for them to spot the landing because the water is moving so much. So it's hard to judge the height of the moves.
And then if they land behind a wave, they could be like a drop in the water, right? So they have a different distance between the water, between the takeoff and the landing. Then we saw one-handed burner from Dieter and a move from Yentl that we just got at the edge of our screens. Yentl is already on 100 points with 3 moves on each tack. He did the minimum to fill in his score, and he's already on 100 points. That guy is a machine. Like,
So Yentl is leading at the
man,
moment.
the move that we missed was a bonka, and it's 16.4 points, and it's the highest score of the day.
Oh, that's
That
crazy.
was that's crazy we missed that, but that puts Yentl in a solid lead on Portac. He's already scoring 42 points with a bonka, Pasco and a Kulo. He can easily up the Kulo score, so I expect he's gonna do it. He's gonna do it now probably. He's up to speed on Portac. Oh, and he's going for a big floaty nose down Shaka and a helitack after that. Dieter drops a DAC, which is not something you see often. Whew, that's an intensive heat. Like, Yentl straight out of the box, and he's on it. He haven't crashed the move yet, and the Shaka score is gonna come into play, but I'm not sure he's gonna update the Kulo score.
Oof.
Connor
First
clips
crash.
the mast. That's a crash. First crash. Commentators jinx. Come on, I didn't. We're not pro commentators. We shouldn't be able to jinx the guy. Sorry, Yentl. I didn't want him to crash. Actually, the second Shaka he did is 12.4, so he ups the Kulo. He's on 107 points. And Dieter has a really hard task ahead of him, but he's counting a 4-point Kono, semi-Kono on the starboard tack, so he's gonna add variety and he's gonna add points to that. He can easily add 10 points to his score just by doing any decent move on starboard tack. That will make it pretty close. And it looks like he already did one. There's a punch from Yentl. Dieter did something off the screen because his score got upped to 99.4. One-handed Shaka. Ooh, we haven't seen that in a while. First one of the competition, I think. Interesting how this is gonna score. But Dieter did a Spock Kulo on starboard tack, and that's what got him into almost 100 points in total. One-handed Shaka on port tack should update his score a little bit. Meanwhile, Yentl with the punch is not improving his total score. So we're on 107.5 from Yentl, who goes for a spot culo himself but drops it. And
So, Thomas, what would Dieter need to up his score now?
yeah, he's got just under 3 minutes, and I think he clean Kono. Yeah, that's not gonna on starboard. That's not gonna up his score. He needs he's counting 10.9 and 10.8 on starboard, which is a culo and a spot culo, and he can definitely up that. And meanwhile, Yentl crashes another move. He's gone cold a little bit, but he's on a good score.
I think the
small
wind has dropped a
increments
bit.
must be, because suddenly they're not doing their moves suddenly. So yeah, it's difficult. The Kono that Dieter did just before was 11.6, so it's better scoring than the Kulo and the Spock Kulo, but it's the same move that he already did, and it's not better than the earlier Kono, so it's not a counting move for him. So he's stuck at 99.5. He needs to either do a better Kulo, or he needs to do a different move. I think if he did like a Bonka, that would be amazing. That would... Okay, there's a clean Kulo from Yentl, and that could edge him a little bit. Spock, yeah, if he made it a bit cleaner, that would definitely improve his scores. Let's see what's it gonna be now. And there's 1 minute 10 seconds on the clock. Yentl has only one move left on each tag. That was a massive Spock. Let's see what's the scores are gonna be on that one. It's gonna count. I'm pretty sure it's gonna improve his port tag game, because he was counting a Shaka. You know, Yentl crash is going switch.
Yeah, I think he's quite tired from his previous hits.
The scores are not coming through though, so okay. There it is. Spock from Yentl improves his score a little bit, and the Spock from Dieter does not improve his score. So we're clearly advantage Yentl, and it's 30 seconds to go, and I don't see it changing. Meanwhile, it was 8 moves, so Yentl has one more move on each tag, but he doesn't have time.
Oh, another crash from Dieter.
That the Kabi would have really made a difference. That Kabi on starboard tag could really change the score, but it's not. He crashed. Game over. Advantage Yentl. No upset, but a really close battle. Dieter falling short. He must be tired already a little bit. There was a bit of a waiting game and a bit of heat to fight, and the conditions are very tricky. So
yes, and also it's been a long week for him. He was competing in the waves and freestyle, so he had very long days.
Yeah, very long days. We have a heat break now. We have a comment from Yip29 that he finds that even it's very difficult to have this level. Freestyle is less aesthetic than contest wave. It's repetitive and quite chaotic. Well, unless you're a freestyler, I understand it might be difficult to follow, because there's so many different moves that kind of look similar, but they are not. So I get your point, but I think if we would have the wave elimination running in these conditions, it would look worse than the freestyle. The conditions are very tricky. It's dead onshore, it's small waves, a lot of chop. The wave competition would not be aesthetically pleasing so much. What do you think, Marine? It's difficult.
Pretty much the same, actually. And freestyle is a very complex discipline, but I love how the guys managed to pull that kind. I mean, the moves are amazing to watch. It demands so much coordination, power, explosivity. yeah, it's a feat. So
But,
yeah,
you
I
know,
totally agree with you.
we are here to get a result, and this is the only freestyle event for the guys, so it's priority to get their double eliminations done. And frankly, the conditions are more suited for freestyle right now, so I think the head judge is doing a good job. We have a comment from Basher saying, "Good commentary, thank you, Basher. Thank you, Marine, for joining me. It's great to have this dynamic of two people in the commentating. And Bashir, if you like the show, please buy Surfmagazin Sylt a coffee. There's a link in the YouTube description. If you're watching on the PWA page, click on the video that it will move you to YouTube. Then you can see there's a link to ko-fi.com/surfmagazine where you can support the guys for doing the show all week. They are doing it out of their own pockets. They're doing it for the love of the sport. And so are we commentating. So support these guys and show
Oh,
your appreciation.
looks like there was a problem with the flag. Will they cancel the heat because of that? Not sure.
No,
Let's see.
that's the ghost heat. So I don't think there's gonna be
Oh,
any
okay.
problem with that. Yeah, we because the guys need to come to the shore and be told who won. So Yentl advanced, and he will go against Jaco Potesta, who's out on the screen on the black sail, getting warmed up.
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
wonder,
for the
he's
mistake.
he's definitely lighter than Yentl, so he might be a bit more powered up to do some moves. There's a nice burner, warm-up burner. Yeah, let's wait and see.
So before we move on to the heat, just a small explanation on the scoring system. So I asked the freestylers to explain like all the variety moves and everything. So apparently, so you have 3 moves counting on potack, 3 moves counting on stab attack. You have power move, sliding moves. For the power moves, it can go backwards, or like it's upwind or downwind. And for instance, a push loop is down upwind move.
But isn't push loop in the other category, like Pasco and Bombka and stuff? Because the orange color in the scoring sheet, in the full one where you can see every move, that I think it's the other category, and they are always scoring 5 points. So you can see on the Ento scorecard, there's Pasco, Bonka, and Shavit Spock, all in the same color, but they all keep the 5 points variety. And this is the special category of moves which are like hard to classify in terms of sliding and upwind or downwind. And I
yes,
think
you're right.
back loop and forward loop are also in this category. And yeah, Bonka and Shavit Spock and like those strange combinations. So this is a special category that doesn't get penalized for variety, but as you say, all the other categories, and they are marked with different colors. You got like this pink, the green, and the light blue. If you do more moves from the same category, you get penalized on the variety points, first by 1 point, then by 3 points, and then by 5 points. So the variety is 5, 4, 2, and 0. And with few heats that we had that were like down to a single point difference, that variety score can make a big difference in terms of who will advance to the next round. Yeah, sorry for interrupting you, but
Oh no, thanks for the explanation. So the orange is for the uncategorized moves, and green would stand for...
yeah, so these are power moves. So these are power moves that are sort of downwind, I think, because it's air funnel, burner, culo, and all that stuff. Then you have flaka, shaka, air flaka, which is this pink color, which are sort of moves that are upwind, upwind rotations. And then you have kono, switch kono, kabikuchis, and stuff. And these are another category, which is this light blue. And then you have Spokkulo, which is kind of, I don't know why it's like what it's in the Spock category, so it's like sliding downwind or just sliding moves, but it's a Kulo added to it, so I don't know. And there's a flying swordfish in the screen.
Yes, many
Oh,
things going
actually.
on the village, including flying swordfish.
That's cool. Yeah, if anyone is willing to get into the details, I think if you go to the PWA page, scroll further down, there's a tab link for rules and equipment, and we can look at freestyle rules,
Blue flag.
and there should
Dolphin.
be
Unicorn. Flying unicorn is up. What is Thomas saying?
Nothing much on the blue flag, but it's interesting. Yeah, you could add some fun in, like it's having some unicorns flags or things like that.
Because maybe he's doing a flagger.
So is it confirmed? Is it KS against Yapo?
I'm looking at the freestyle rules to see if we have the categories named, but I think there's actually a separate document for that is available to the riders but not to the public, with the full list of moves and how many points they can get maximum and so on and so on.
Okay,
I
let
think
us know
the
when you find the information. Because yes, it's very hard to understand freestyle. Even the moves are very complex, and the competitions are even more complex because of all these varieties rules, the different moves, and it's kind of hard to explain to the public. So I think it's worth taking the time to go through the details of the judging.
Yeah, so the change that has happened a few years ago with the new scoring system is that actually the judges, they don't name the move. There is a separate person who registers what type of a maneuver it was in the system, and then the three judges in the panel, they are scoring it just for sort of style and execution, and they can go from 1 to 12 points, and that is calculated together with the variety score and together with the difficulty factor for each move to give you a total score for the move. So the judges are now only scoring the execution, which is great, because before they had to sort of put in the move themselves and then put in the score for it, and there was more inconsistencies between the judges. So I'm looking for the sheet list of moves, but I don't see it actually, so yeah, we'll have to get that info from the PWA some other time, which might be...
I can try to write the judges for the next elimination. So what kind of moves can you pull on the water, Thomas? What's your favorite?
Ooh, maybe I could compete in the freestyle along with Josh Stone and Brian Talma. That's my list of moves.
That's good enough.
Flakka, grabby, funnel bob, and like not much more. I'm struggling to learn now, since after being 30, it's difficult to get new moves in. But I focus on waves much more, and my freestyling hours are limited. But I still enjoy it a lot, and definitely I'm gonna do it as much as I can in the future.
Yes, that's the way the guys
It's
go.
nice to be on the water.
When they're young, they go for freestyle, and when they get older, they switch to waves.
J.A. Physio likes our competent and relaxed commentary, easy listening. Oh, that's so nice to hear, because I always fear it's like hard on the ear, my voice. And Marine is so nice, and she's so well spoken, so definitely easy listening to you, Marie.
Thanks. No, I think everybody's listening to your very technical insights, which is super cool to have because freestyle is it's a tricky one to comment.
Yeah,
So-
definitely.
It's a great job.
It's the sort of the most spectacular discipline, but at the same time, it's most difficult to understand for like non-freestyle windsurfers or even non-windsurfing people. As like Brian said, like sometimes you have two riders going right to the beach, and one does a double culo, and one does a forward loop, and the one doing a forward loop will get more cheers on the beach because it looks more appealing to regular people since they don't understand how difficult the other move is. But yeah, we cannot stop the development of new moves, and it's good that the sport is developing, because if we would only look at spots and loops for the last 20 years, we would be pretty bored with freestyle, I think. So it's a two-edged sword, this development of equipment, of new moves, of new techniques, and everything got faster, higher, and more difficult at the same time, but that's the way things go.
Yes, towards more performance. Is freestyle popular in Sweden?
Not so much. We have a few places where we have good freestyle conditions. Here, next to where I live, south of Sweden, there's good shallow water, flat water places, but we have seaweed. But then around the west coast, around Gothenburg, there's a few good freestylers there. We have a few good freestylers here, and then I think around Stockholm area, there's also some freestyle conditions in between the archipelago. So yeah, but they have a short windsurfing season because they have pretty severe winters there sometimes. But I know there's been a lot of good freestylers in the recent past, but they are usually traveling a lot and they are not competing, so it's hard to say. But there hasn't been a Swede doing a freestyle event in a while. I think there was Eric Hockman doing it a few years ago. But yeah, it's tough. We don't have any local competitions. The closest one we can get is the Danish Open. Ruben is asking why there hasn't been an official PWA stream. And the question is, it's just money issues. I think the local organizers had a bit different priorities. So if the budget was tight, they decided they are gonna drop the live stream. So thanks again for Surfmagazin Sylt for providing the live stream. Go buy them a coffee, and we're 40 seconds until the heat starts, and it's gonna be Jentel Kers and Jacopo Testa fighting for the possibility to beat Steven. So the loser of this heat is guaranteed a 4th place, unless there's a second single elimination.
You need coffee. Tell the people Nick needs coffee.
Yeah,
needs
the
coffee,
message
apparently,
from the guys. They
Buy
need
them
coffee.
coffees. There is a whole crew of 3 people working on the live stream for you for free, so don't hesitate. Buy them coffees. They are out there in the cold all day long for entertainment. And Jacopo Testa opens the heat.
With a shaka, and then Jentel with a burner. Shaka flaka for Jacob. There's a bit of a staggering on the stream on my monitor. I hope you'll have a smooth video. Maybe there are some internet issues along the way for me or down in Sylt. Oh, Jentel was going for a ramp. Or not. No, he's doing the move now. Shaka for Jentel. Shaka Flaka, opening Shaka Flaka from Jacopo was 11.1, so not the highest score. We've seen higher scoring Shakas. 15.4 burner from Jentel. that was Jacopo. I'm not sure what I said. That's a very good burner score. 15 points burner. It's a keeper. Like, we've seen no-handed burners scoring in that range, so definitely a good one. Good start from Yentl.
Jacopo goes switch.
And he does a burner himself. Really good one as well. I think they looked pretty similar. There you go. As Skopu, was it? Skopu or a Kabi? We didn't see the start. I think it was a Skopu from Yentl, and that was a good one. First one of the day. It's a solid start from Yentl. Corner from Jacopo. Nice height, clean landing, but he got a bit stuck on the landing, so it's going to be interesting to see if they penalize him for that. Meanwhile, the scores are slowly updating. There's a punch into 360 into Flacca, the future, invented by Riccardo Campello. So there we go. It was a Kabikuchi 14.4, and with 3 moves each, Yentl is ahead by 3 points. So it's close, but it's a small advantage for Yentl. Jacopo, a Flacca down the wave, and he catches an edge. Difficult to navigate through the rough waters of Sylt. That's not going to be a scoring move for him. Yeah, there you go. Double culo, but didn't get the landing on the second rotation from Yentl. That's a crash, but he's going for it because he knows with Jacopo he needs to up his game a little bit. Punch 360, scoring a 13 points. That's a nice score to have. Previously, Shaka scoring 8.8. So he's still ahead with 3 moves in, because the Flacca score from Jacopo was really low, only 4.2. That's not going to count for him for sure. He can do better. Full speed for Jacopo Testa, and that must have been a culo from Yentl and Portak. Meanwhile, Jacopo is still going. We didn't miss a move here. Wet culo. He's not going to sail out from that, so it's a crash. We got 6 minutes 20 seconds to go. Anything can happen. They have not made
Yentl already has a very big lead.
Yeah, he has more moves counting, but his score for 5 moves counting is very high, 87 points. That's solid. And there was a nice culo 360 with a bit of a stack on the 360, but there was a lot of style in that move, so I wonder what's the score is going to be, and it's definitely going to improve his total score. 12.4 for that culo. That's not bad, but that also shows how big that first burner was, scoring 15.4. That was massive. Highest score of the heat so far, even beating the Kabikuchi. The stream gets a little bit stuck on my screen. I don't know what's going on. Marine, does the stream get stuck for you as well?
All good here, I think.
Okay, so it's not just my connection. Pasco crash from Yentl, so no changes in the total score for him. He's on 104 points. Landed 3 moves on each tack already. Meanwhile, Jacopo is struggling. He's got only 1 move on starboard tack. Trying to do better now. Shove it, Spock. So much one-handed. Landing plane upright like it's nothing. Oh, that's going to be a good score. So we're getting a message that the Wi-Fi is a bit weak, so that's why you might see some big push from Yentl.
No, it's okay.
This is starting to be really interesting, guys. Like, let's wait for the scores, but I have a feeling it will get
So Jacopo is still missing a move on starboard tack.
Ja, ja, ist schon klar.
Yeah, Jacopo Testa has quite some room for improvement. Oh, massive crash from Yantel. He went really big on that move.
Ist wieder gut.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Are you back, Thomas?
Yes, Gregor, the Wi-Fi is cutting, so that's why the stream got a bit stuck. There was a bonka from Testa. I think you can only forward part of it, but it was a perfect bonka, scoring 17.8. But he's
yes.
still trailing.
Excellent score. He's catching up.
He's catching up. He's missing one move on starboard tack, so he's improved his score easily. And if he does that move, he will get ahead of Yentl.
And he can still improve his score on port tack, I think.
Yeah. And what was that from Yentl? Was it a Pasco or was it a Shaka Flaka? I'm gonna watch the replay on the YouTube myself. That was a Pasco. Okay, that's gonna improve his scores on port tack as well, because he's counting a Shaka, an 8.8 Shaka. So, whoa, that's gonna be close. Let's see, starboard tack, Jacopo. That's a big moment for him. Tacking regular, no, and just a spot from Yentl. So, no changes. I expect no changes in the scores, and actually the Pasco scored only 8.4. That's a really low score for a Pasco. So that's just a small advantage compared to the Shaka because of added variety point. And the scores are more or less the same, 106 Yentl to 93.7 Jacopo, but Jacopo has one more move to count on starboard tack, so that will be a big difference. And the Wi-Fi has been switched, so we're gonna have more stability on the stream now. Shavit Spock, wet landing from Yentl. On port tack, not sure how they're gonna score that wet landing, but it could improve his Pasco, so let's wait and see. The sound is buffering, says Matis. Big cooler from Jacopo. That's gonna put him right back into it. Marine, can you hear me? We got some technical issues, guys.
I am back. Sorry, I was sneezing.
Okay, yeah, so someone is reporting that the sound is buffering. I don't know whether it was before with the Wi-Fi issues or now. And then Pat Diver is interested in the water temperature. You can answer that question, Marine.
I don't know exactly. I would say it's between 14 degrees, 15 maybe. It's you can sail with your 4mm wetsuit. It's fine. Oh, end of the heat. Oh my God, Jacopo Testa is at 111 points. Did he manage to go through?
In the last minute, Jacopo did like a tiny shove at double Spock, but he was already in the lead before that because of the culo. Yentl did just a forward. Sound and video is fine.